Chapter 225. The time to earn points has come after leaving the pill shop. Sinan followed the people along the way with his thick skin and unreasonable manner. No matter how much Luo Li provoked him, he wouldn't leave. Luo Li, what's the use of the pill tower token that Elder Xiao gave me just now? Lu Muyin asked Luo Li beside him. Luo Li pushed aside Sinan, who was about to come over, and said, "The pill tower token is a good thing. Using it, you can go to all the pill tower properties to buy things, not only giving you discounts, but you can also buy pills or spiritual herbs that require a certain identity and are on limited sale. Aside from that, there's no other uses." Lu Muyin just felt that the cyan token wasn't that simple. Everyone who held the pill tower token can enjoy the treatment of distinguished guests. As for how they can enjoy it, I don't know. Luo Li shrugged. It's very rare for the pill tower to issue a pill tower token, and only those elders who hold real power are qualified to gift one. But it said that those who obtained one have either the status or the strength and were very powerful. Sound very similar to the Ming Alliance token. Lu Muyin remembered that she still had the Ming Alliance token lying in her interspatial ring and wondered how Ming Xiao, that guy, was doing now. Helian Lai said in surprise, "You don't know about the pill tower token, but you know of the Ming Alliance token? Is that weird?" Lu Muyin asked. Helian Lai said, "The Ming Alliance token is even more useful than the pill tower token, and the amount given out were even less. There are only 2 powerhouses in our Dongshuan kingdom that have a Ming Alliance token. The Pill Tower has the Pill Tower token. The Ming Chamber of Commerce Alliance has the Ming Alliance token. Then, does the Smithing Pavilion have some sort of token?" Lu Muyin asked with a light smile. Sinan pushed away Helian Lai's handsome face, revealing a brilliant smile. "I know this. The Smithing Pavilion naturally has their Fire Pavilion token." Lu Muyin nodded lightly, wondering when she should go get a Fire Pavilion token to play with. Seeing that Lu Muyin didn't give him any nice looks, he touched his nose, looking helpless. Wasn't it all because he was tricked by Luo Qinghe and the others? The several people quickly walked out of the city and rushed towards the closest, largest city to the central area. "Are you going to travel at night?" Sinan followed and asked in surprise when he found that the 3 groups of people were traveling at a very fast speed after they left the city. Luo Li rolled his eyes at him. "Otherwise, we won't be entertaining you since we have to hurry. You should go back to the city. You 3 teams have made an alliance?" Sinan looked at him and asked. "As long as your eyes aren't blind, you can see it." Luo Li snorted coldly. Sinan's long and narrow eyes were filled with brilliance, and he said with a smile, "Add our group to it. You didn't go find Mo Ling and Yin Jun for an alliance?" Luo Li raised an eyebrow and asked. "Mo Ling is too cold and boring. Yin Jun disappeared for no apparent reason 5 days ago, and who knows what he went to do." Sinan thickened his skin and rubbed against Luo Li's side, saying, "So I can only rely on you, buddy. Don't talk nonsense, you stinky, shameless bastard. Who's your buddy?" Luo Li took a few steps away from him with a look of disgust. "All right, I'm serious. Let me join your alliance too." Sinan was looking at Luo Yi when he said this. Luo Yi's clear voice echoed in the night, very pleasant. "I don't care." Sinan immediately turned his gaze to Lu Muyin. "Young Miss Lu, what do you think?" "I don't care either." Lu Muyin glanced at him and replied coldly. Sinan discovered that his masculine charm actually didn't have any advantage in front of Lu Muyin, but don't care meant that it was a yes, then we're allies from now on. "Sinan, have you asked my opinion?" Helian Lai played with the folding fan in his hand, then glanced at the gold foil fan in Sinan's hands and pursed his lips. This man really was gaudy. Sinan raised an eyebrow. They all agreed. "Your opinion isn't important." Luo Li's right. You're very dislikable." "Helian," Lu snorted coldly. "Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site." Thanks. Then Luo Li also joined in the cursing battle against Sinan, and the 3 of them ridiculed back and forth very cheerfully. Lu Muyin smiled speechlessly. The friendship between these 3 was really very weird. There's a medium beast tide gathering 2 kilometers ahead. Mo Yan's voice echoed in Lu Muyin's ears. Lu Muyan's eyes lit up, and she said to everyone, "There's a medium-sized beast tied 2 kilometers ahead. The time to earn points has come." After she finished speaking, she tapped her toes and disappeared from their field of vision as a stream of light in the dark night. Yunzi and the others didn't hesitate either and accelerated towards the direction of her disappearance. Seeing Luo, Li, and the others also speeding up, Sinan was taken aback. What did she mean by "there's a medium-sized beast tied ahead," and that the time to earn points has come? It wasn't how he thought it was it? Of course it's that we'll be going to kill the beast and the beast tides and earn points, idiot. Luo Li rolled his eyes at him, then ignored him as he and Luo Yi and the others also disappeared in a flash. Taking the initiative to find a beast tied to kill? Have they all gone crazy? Sinan turned to look at Helion Lai, who was prepared to catch up to them. Helion Lai curled his lips. "I also think they're crazy, but it's very exciting. Maybe you'll start liking it too." After answering, without waiting for Sinan's reaction, he took the elite team of Dongshuan Kingdom and also rushed forward. They're completely influenced by that woman named Lu Muyan. They even thought of something as crazy as this. A team member behind Sinan said. Another furrowed their brows and asked, "Then should we follow?" Sinan's eyes were as deep as the sea, and his face revealed a rare look of seriousness. After pondering, he waved his hand and said, "Follow. Why shouldn't we follow?" Even Helion Lai, with his crafty personality, can't wait to chase after them. It definitely must be profitable. The several other people thought that it was the case too. It was understandable if Luo Li was enchanted by beauty and lost his reason, but Luo Yi and Helion couldn't both be hot-headed. So the team quickly followed as well. Roar, roar. It was just that as soon as they approached the beast tide, Sinan's group was completely stunned by the sight in front of them. Ahead, countless walls of fire rose into the sky, dividing the gathered demonic beasts into more than a dozen small waves, and a small black flag constantly shook in the sky above. Luo Yi and the others, at this time, were within the separated firewalls, killing the demonic beasts that had been separated into smaller waves. Even that unremarkable team of Lu Muyans killed demonic beasts without ambiguity or hesitation. Each strike was pretty much quick, accurate, ruthless, specifically targeting the weak points of demonic beasts. Even at first glance, they basically looked like experienced hunters. They definitely had done this sort of thing more than once. The most blinding thing was that Lu Muyan controlled the array while also controlling 10 golden flying swords to shuttle among the Tier 6 demonic beasts. Each strike of the sword took a life. Either that, or she directly blasted them with her fist, bombarding a demonic beast whose cultivation base was even higher than her to death in only a few punches. The woman had beauty that could cause the downfall of a kingdom, while her figure was like a ghost. The light purple clothes set her off as noble and mysterious, as if an Azura won from hell, with a devilish beauty beneath the firelight at night. Fuck, was this still a woman? A team member behind Nan was tongue-tied in amazement when he saw that Lu Muyan could kill a Tier 6 demonic beast in close-quarters combat. How domineering. One of the men sighed with various emotions. When Luo Li saw that Sinan's group had arrived, but just watched Lu Muyan and didn't help, his face darkened as he roared, "Sinan, what ray you looking at, you damned, shameless bastard? Hurry up and come help." Only then did Sinan and the others return to their senses, and they rushed into the battle circle to join in the slaughter of the demonic beasts. Because the 4 teams were all very powerful, it only took 4 hours to harvest this medium-sized beast tide wave. Under Mo Yan's probing, they killed 3 small beast tides that night, and their points skyrocketed, attracting the attention of many forces. One malevolent beings in Hindu mythology, apparently. Chapter 226. All of them sure were arrogant. Only when the sky had brightened did the 4 teams of talents drag their weary bodies to the largest refuge city in the competition space besides the central city. On the city tower, you looked at the 20 or so people who had just entered the city. Their point are growing so fast. Could it be that they're traveling at night? Mu Tong stared at Lu Mu Yin with a grim expression. This woman really was a vixen. Not only did she seduce the two Luo brothers, but even Helian Lai and Si Nan's attitude towards her was very different. Ji took out the dark purple jade tablet and glanced at it. The point rankings of those people had risen a lot. Luo Li and Lu Mu Yin, who had already dropped out of the top 40, were now back at 30-something in just one night. Seeing how tired they are, it should have been a night of bloody battles. Let's go out of the city to ambush and hunt. We can't let them surpass our points. Ji put away the jade tablet and leapt off the city wall. The rest of their group also leapt down and rushed towards a remote mountain in the distance. As soon as Lu Mu Yin and her party entered the city, they gained the attention of many forces. They ignored it, however, and went to Rongzi Kingdom's small courtyard at an inn and began to recover. When night fell, the doors in the small courtyard opened one after another, and the 4 teams of people went out to hunt together. Mo Ling stood at high place, prideful, aloof, and cool. He watched Luo Yi and his party leave, and there was a strange color in his calm eyes. Young lord, Luo Yi and the others seemed to have changed their hunting time tonight. A man behind him said. After a while, Mo Ling said, "Let's observe another day." Yes. Lu Mu Yin and the others didn't rush toward the last target, the central city. The demonic beasts near there were generally tier 7 demonic beasts. If they weren't careful, they might accidentally provoke a tier 7 small beast tide, which would be troublesome. The central city generally gathered crowds in the last 10 days. By then, the competition for points would have become subsidiary, and everyone's purpose would be to compete for the identity jade tablets. That night, their harvest wasn't too big, and they only intercepted 4 waves of small beast tides. When dawn arrived and they returned to the city, the number of spies gradually increased outside the inn where they stayed at. Let's rest during the day today and follow to see what tricks they're playing tonight. Ji looked at the names that changed ranks last night on his jade tablet, and his eyes sank. If they went on like this, they wouldn't be able to keep their top 10 rankings. Mu Tong had long wanted to kill Lu Mu Yin in the wild, and there was a cruel look on her beautiful face. Tonight, I will definitely tear that vixen into tens of thousands of pieces. Ji furrowed his brows slightly as he looked at her, and the image of that white-clothed, cold and prideful woman, with elegance and intellectual brilliance, appeared in his mind. He sighed and clenched his hands. Power, benefits, and strength were more important. When Lu Mu Yin and the others set out from the city at night, there were actually more than a dozen groups of people secretly following behind. They're following us. How about we kill them all? Sinan's androgynous handsome face revealed a wicked smile and even made a gesture of slicing his neck with his hands. Luo Li rolled his eyes at him. Jiyu and Mo Ling's elite team are also following. You go up first and kill those 2, then we'll clean up the rest. Jiyu can't beat me, but Mo Ling is a bit tricky. I'm afraid that only Lord Luo could handle him. Sinan analyzed it seriously. Luo Yi didn't pay any attention to him at all. If Mo Ling was so easy to kill, he wouldn't have fought to fame in only one battle when he was young. You really are sick. They're probably just following to see how we hunt demonic beasts at night. It's not like they're sneak attacking, so it's not justifiable for us to take the initiative to kill them. And if we can't kill them, then we'd be making a few big enemies. Luo Li glanced suspiciously at Sinan. You damned shameless bastard's heart is impure. Are you trying to kill Mo Ling by borrowing my elder brother's hand? Sinan rolled his eyes. He was just making a random suggestion. How did it become his heart being impure? Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, that's right. Who asked Mo Ling to have ovulated him before? Remembering the last time he fought against Mo Ling and was injured by him, he felt a surge of anger. One day he would definitely find a way to regain his stage from that cold-faced ghost. If Mo Ling heard what you said just now, he would definitely make you die miserably. Luo Li sneered. Sinan, this damned, shameless bastard's brain was definitely ill. There's a medium-sized beast tied to the east, but this time there are 2 tier 7 demonic beast leaders. Lu Mu Yin looked into the distance and explained the situation that Mo Yan's demonic sense gathered. Luo Yi pinched his fingers to calculate. We can go. Sinan, it's time to put you to use. Luo Li put his hand on Sinan's shoulder as if they were good buddies. He should just let this damned, shameless bastard deal with the tier 7 demonic beasts. Sinan raised his chin arrogantly. This master will be afraid? Seeing that the two were still joking around at such a critical moment, Helian Lai immediately interrupted. Stop joking around and let's talk business. Are we still using the previous strategy with so many people following? Seeing everyone looking at him, he immediately asked. Lu Mu Yin swept her rear casually, then shrugged indifferently. Of course. Otherwise, how can we earn points? If those people follow and they decide not to kill, then their points would definitely fall again. We rest during the day and act at night, and our points are increasing so fast, so it's normal to be targeted. Luo Yi took the first step ahead. Let's go. Although Helian Lai and the others were a little worried about the dozen or so teams behind, but right now, this was the only way to increase their points. At least it was better than going to the central city to specifically kill those tier 7 transformation stage demonic beasts to earn points like those abnormal monster cultivators of previous tournaments. Follow. Seeing Luo Yi and the others speed up, GU and the more than a dozen elite teams couldn't resist and followed them. Roar, roar. The roars of countless high-level demonic beasts resounded throughout the canyon, as if they had long been prepared for battle. Be careful tonight. The 2 tier 7 demonic beasts seemed to have come prepared. Mo Yan's eyes were indifferent. The 2 transformation stage demonic beasts were just like ants to him. Lu Mu Yin looked at him with a smile and telepathically said, How about you go display your power and prestige a bit? Not interested. Unless it's a matter of life and death. Otherwise, I definitely won't act. Mo Yin closed his eyes and rested. Bing Ji pouted, cursing inwardly. What are you acting so proud for? You're speaking as if you can easily strangle a tier 7 demon cultivator. Owner, how about you undo my seal today and let me display my power and prestige? Bing Ji rubbed against her decisively. Little Owner's accomplishments in the path of the array were so profound, he believed that she definitely was able to lift Ming Xiu's seal. Go look for Ming Xiu to lift it. Lu Mu Yin was too lazy to pay attention to him. Although Ming Xiu did tell her how to break the seal before he left, but she wasn't going to let this stinky bird transform. His cultivation base was suppressed to tier 6 right now, but he still thought about going out and jumping around all day. If he recovered the strength of a tier 8, then it wasn't certain what sort of trouble he would cause. Bing Ji instantly looked like a defeated rooster. It seems that I can't display my power and prestige and be arrogant tonight. Otherwise, just watch how I kill those 2 tier 7 little vermin. He didn't telepathically say those words, but instead directly said them aloud, which instantly caused Sinan and the others to roll their eyes. It really was with what kind of owner there would be what kind of spirit pet. All of them sure were arrogant. Chapter 227. The Beauty is Fierce. Not long after, when they arrived at the canyon, they saw the densely packed, very orderly demonic beasts gathering in front of them. Still the old rule. They'll use an array to separate the beast tide, and you all kill quickly. Lu Mu Yin looked at the 2 human-like figures up in the air in the distance. Luo Yi, we might need to rely on you to restrain the tier 7 demonic beasts. Luo Yi's eyes were clear and clean, nodding lightly. Sinan swept the sky in the distance and said lazily, I can restrain one. He left a bad impression on Lu Mu Yin and the others before, so it was even more imperative to reverse his image. He may not be able to kill the tier 7 demon cultivator perfectly, but he can still stall it or defeat it. All right, you can both go greet them when they initiate the attack. Lu Mu Yin knew that for Sinan to be able to become the leader of an elite superpower kingdom team, then his strength naturally wouldn't be weak. More than a dozen teams behind them also arrived at this time, and when they saw the densely packed tier 6 demonic beasts in front of them, they couldn't help but feel a little numb in their scalps. It would be fine for each person to take on a few of those beasts, but if they were surrounded by a large group, then they would be in danger. Many people wanted to retreat. Mutong's eyes revealed surprise and fear. Then she pulled Ges close. You, how about we go back to the city first? There are so many Tier 6 demonic beasts gathered here. Those that enter might have difficulty escaping. Yu pulled his sleeves out of her hands, his voice cold. The woman named Lu Mu Yin is only at peak phase Sword King cultivation base, but she's not afraid. What are you afraid of? Mutong clenched her fists. She gritted her teeth and stood beside Yu. Watching the 4 groups of people not far away, she didn't believe that Vixen wouldn't be afraid. In a bit, Luo Li and the others would probably have to find time to protect her. She would definitely drag them down. Then let's see how she won't be afraid. Yu stopped talking and looked straight ahead. If Luo Yi and the others were trapped deeply in the beast tide, with how himself and the others were positioned, they could still retreat in time. Mo Ling folded his arms and leaned against a big tree. The coldness of his body combined with the night wind that blew slowly made him look extremely desolate. Ed, have Luo Yi and the others gone crazy? A team member behind him asked in confusion when he saw that Luo Yi and the others not only did not retreat, but instead leapt towards the beast tide. Mo Ling furrowed his brows slightly. They're not fools. Keep watching. He didn't believe that Luo Yi and the others would use their lives for a joke. As soon as Lu Mu Yin approached the group of beasts, she tapped her toes and leapt up into the sky, tossing jade stones that she had long nourished well, used for arranging arrays one by one towards 14 different locations. The demonic beasts here didn't just have a lot of abilities, but were also very strong. If she only used one 7-star array, then she was afraid that the beast tide would destroy the defense, so she arranged a chain of 7-star fire arrays. 14 stones entered the ground instantly, and traces of spiritual force wound around them and moved. She stretched out her hand, and an array flag fell over the array. The black flag slowly unfolded like a picture scroll. She utilized flash steps and continuously shuttled through the Tier 6 demonic beasts, forming seals and arranging the array. Her figure ghostly, flexible, and free, as if she had reached a realm of being non-existent. What's going on? What's she going to do? Someone behind Mo Ling said in surprise. This woman's so agile. Mo Ling remembered the beast-killing trapping array method that night, and his cold eyes brightened slightly. Watching Lu Mu Yin arrange the array, she will use an array to aid the battle. Use an array to aid the battle? Is it useful against so many demonic beasts? A member of the team at the back had uncertainty and suspicion in his tone. We'll know if we keep watching. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks Mutong saw Lu Mu Yan's agile movements, maneuvering back and forth within the demonic beasts, completely unafraid, and her face was terrifyingly grim. She simply couldn't believe it. Is she seeking death? This woman isn't simple. Unlike Mutong, who resented Lu Mu Yin a lot, from Ges' point of view, to be able to maneuver through the beasts as if non-existent and still survive safely was something that even he couldn't do. Her footwork should be a high-level method. Seeing Lu Mu Yin so arrogantly moving within the group, she suddenly felt a sense of powerlessness. It would probably be difficult for her to kill her today, so she had to borrow Ges' power. Sure enough, after hearing her words, Ges' deep eyes moved. After Lu Mu Yin arranged the array, she snapped her fingers, and transparent jade balls rose from her fingertips into the air one by one, echoing with the array. And after she withdrew from the beast group, the gathering demonic beasts all rioted. This human woman was practically challenging their dignity. Roar, roar. The numerous beast roars were deafening, and the demonic beasts looked at Lu Mu Yin with fierce eyes. They clawed the ground and rushed in her direction. Rise! Lu Mu Yan's eyes narrowed and shouted coldly. Pu pu. At the fall of her words, countless walls of flames surged up from the ground, separating the advancing group of beasts. She stood on top of a golden longsword in midair and formed a few Taoist seals, appearing in the air, 7-star fire array bind. Immediately afterwards, one saw the walls of fire tumble apart, forming 4 walls after 4 walls, separating the demonic beasts in the group, and each four-sided wall would surround less than 20 tier 6 demonic beasts. She stepped lightly, and the golden sword beneath her feet shone brightly. Then she rushed into the fire array with a shoe. The golden long sword instantly divided into 10 flying swords and slashed toward the surrounding demonic beasts. The flying sword were like fish in water, and the fire array was just like the pond for raising fish. The two cooperated to harvest the lives of more than a dozen tier 6 demonic beasts in only a short amount of time. As long as the flying sword targeted one, each sword would stab into their vital points. Lu Mu Yan's flying swords were, as if it had their own self-consciousness, automatically attacking demonic beasts, while she herself was filled with fighting spirit. Her slender jade hands were enveloped in a layer of a light, glass-like red color, and she flew up, brandishing her fists, taking the initiative to greet each ferocious, robust demonic beast. My heavens! My eyes aren't blurry, are they? Someone from the dozen or so teams that followed exclaimed, "This woman is so fierce." Watching the demonic beasts fall to the ground one after another under her fist, many people wouldn't help feeling numb their scalps. Was this still a woman? If someone became her husband in the future, would he be beaten to death with a fist if she became unhappy? Many people stared, dumbfounded, at the purple-clothed, otherworldly woman who looked like a deity of war. And yet, such a violent battle didn't seem at all vulgar or contemptuous, and instead, it was pleasing to watch her figure disappear and appear ceaselessly. I finally know why Luo Li fell in love with this small kingdom girl. She really was charming. A strong and sturdy man behind, and Mo Ling swallowed. What a hot beauty. I wonder who's lucky enough to bear her. A thin-looking man beside him shuddered. I feel more sympathetic to Luo Li now. The beauty is fierce. Many people on the field knew that Luo Li had a crush on a small kingdom woman, and now seeing Lu Mu Yan's valiant style, many people cast sympathetic gazes to him. Luo Li, is that woman in the array really Lu Mu Yan? Sinan rubbed his eyes, afraid that his vision was blurry. Luo Li looked as if he regarded it as his honor. Naturally, she's Lu Mu Yan. If you like those delicate women, then you can choose not to look. I've seen too many delicate women that I already don't feel anything anymore. Seems like a valiant and violent beauty like Lu Mu Yan has more taste. I like it. Sinan's eyes revealed some fiery desire. Only conquering such a hot and violent beauty was interesting and challenging. Seeing Sinan look at Lu Mu Yan with incomparably fiery eyes, Luo Li's face darkened instantly. He said grimly, "You'd better restrain yourself from your little ideas. She's not interested in a gaudy, pretty face like you at all." How do you know she's not interested? You aren't able to eat the meat yourself, and you want us to be vegetarians as well, one? Sinan pursed his lips. Fair competition. Fair competition? You damned, shameless bastard, get lost. Luo Li pushed Sinan away with a dark face, snorted coldly, and jumped into the fire array, beginning to kill demonic beasts. He couldn't give the shameless Sinan a chance to approach Lu Mu Yan. Sinan raised an eyebrow. He's a bit too jealous. But naturally I won't give up something I'm interested in so easily. There was a bewitching smile on his handsome face. He was still rather confident in his own face. Seeing that Luo Yi had also joined the killing in the fire array, and the 2 transformation stage demon cultivators in the distance didn't act, he also jumped into the fire array without hesitation. Whoever didn't try to earn these points were fools. There were many people who thought like Sinan. Having such a fire array was truly a good opportunity to earn points. No wonder Luo Yi and the others dared to hunt at night. So it turned out that there was the fire array arranged by Lu Mu Yan. "Young lord, should we go up?" The team members behind Mo Ling were eager to act. Mo Ling narrowed his eyes and nodded. "Let's go." The beast tide was still gathering, and with only Luo Yi and the others, they might not be able to kill them all. Since they chanced upon it, then it wasn't a big issue if they went up to have a share of porridge. He would just give some compensation to that woman named Lu Mu Yin in the future. Her talent and attainments in the path of the array shocked him very much, and he also had the heart to befriend her. Obtaining a nod from Mo Ling, the several people quickly rushed into the fire array to kill the demonic beasts. Seeing that Lu Mu Yan's combat power was so powerful, Mu Tong's face was grim, and she even trembled slightly. This woman actually had such profound knowledge in arrays. How was that possible? In addition to awe, Ji's gaze towards Lu Mu Yin was also mixed with some complexity. To be able to use an array of such level, the background of this woman definitely wasn't simple, or there was someone behind her. Crown Prince, let's go too. Seeing that Mo Ling's people had already jumped into the fire array, the team members behind Ji Yu couldn't hold back any longer. Ji Yu closed his eyes, then opened them and waved his hands, go. Seeing that Ji Yu and the others also joined the battle circle in the fire array, Mu Tong stomped her foot and followed. More than a dozen other groups of people also jumped into the fire array to earn points. What made them delighted was that when they entered the fire array, they discovered that those demonic beasts were obviously suppressed by the heat and energy of the fire array. The actual combat power they could exert was significantly reduced. No wonder Luo Li and the others were able to kill so heartily. Lu Mu Yin pondered while sieging and killing. When she saw Mu Tong's group of people killing happily in her array, she narrowed her eyes dangerously and her lips revealed a ridicule. With a thought, the jade stones buried in the ground immediately moved positions, and the firewall near Mu Tong and the others instantly extinguished. The trapped demonic beasts were confused for a moment, then roared excitedly and rushed towards Mu Tong's group of people. The people were just killing heartily, feeling refreshed. The combat power of the Tier 6 demonic beasts suppressed by the fire array was actually only equivalent to peak phase Tier 5. But then the heat around them suddenly disappeared, and the surrounding demonic beasts rioted instantly, almost causing them serious injury. Ji's combat power was the strongest, so he rather easily avoided the crazy riot of demonic beasts, unlike others who were more or less injured. He looked grimly at Lu Mu Yin, who was standing in the sky. This woman, sure, was a ruthless character. If she was an enemy, she would become a serious issue. He should find a chance to kill her in the competition space. However, even if the fire array was withdrawn, the beast tide was still divided into countless waves, and they could still kill many demonic beasts to earn points. So even if they were secretly annoyed by Lu Mu Yan's actions, they could only keep it in their hearts and continue to kill the demonic beasts on the periphery. Lu Mu Yin, what do you mean by this? Mu Tong was bitten on the arm by a demonic beast, and after killing the demonic beast, she glared at Lu Mu Yin not far away, who watched the play with folded arms. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks. Lu Mu Yin raised an eyebrow and sneered. Precisely what you saw. You want to kill us? Mu Tong's eyes rolled in thought, then provoked. Lu Mu Yin stretched out a finger and shook it, saying casually, I'm not interested in their deaths. If they die in a beast tide, then it would be all your fault. What do you mean? Mu Tong looked at her resentfully. What did she mean by it would be your fault? Because you're hostile to me and want to kill me whenever, wherever, and we don't like each other, so I naturally won't let you all use the array. Even if they want to blame, they should blame you for not being able to recognize your own situation and status. Lu Mu Yin smiled charmingly. Sooner or later, your group will be harmed by your arrogant and domineering temper. So what does it have to do with me? Don't forget, from the very beginning to the end, you provoked me first, and I just happen to have this one virtue. Her eyes revealed a sharpness. If one does not offend me, I won't offend them. If one offended me, they'll send them to hell to drink tea with King Yama. Hearing her words, many people shuddered. It truly was as the saying, servants and women were difficult to raise too. No one doubted what she said, even if she smiled so gorgeously and movingly, with unparalleled beauty, but no one could ignore the coldness in her eyes. You little bitch. Mu Tong couldn't resist cursing. Huh. But her voice only just fell when an invisible fiery red slap landed on her face, its crispness resounding. She held her cheek in disbelief. You dare to slap me? In my array, it is not up to you to be arrogant. Lu Muyin sneered. The slap, just now, was precisely a slap formed from her fire elemental energy condensation. Mu Tong was long used to being arrogant in the Empire and in her clan. Aside from being slapped in the cheek by that bitch elder sister, Lu Muyin was the second person in her entire life to touch her. She erupted, her current anger also fueled with her previous hatred, and said with a grim and ruthless expression, "I'm going to kill you." Elemental energy channeled violently into her longsword, and her middle phase sword monarch cultivation base was in full momentum as she slashed at Lu Muyin with all her strength. The cyan sword aura swept out like a hurricane, carrying with it a strong wind elemental power. Lu Muyin let out a languid laugh, tapped her finger, and drew a Taoist seal in the air. Bang! Then a huge wall of fire surged and instantly engulfed the imposing wind elemental energy hurricane. Mu Tong paled in shock. How could this be possible? Her full blow was resolved by that woman, just like that, and that wall of fire didn't disappear. It rolled over Mu Tong's head with lightning speed, attempting to engulf her together. Mu Tong, in her array, she is the controller. Don't continue to act and humiliate yourself. Jiyu jumped in front of Mu Tong and swung a golden sword light out. The wall of fire that erupted rapidly was split in half and was completely wiped out in front of Mu Tong. No matter what, Mu Tong was his betrothed. Her arrogant and domineering personality was also once his favorite. They already had the experience between husband and wife 3, plus Mu Tong's status in the Mu clan, so he naturally couldn't watch her die. Lu Muyin, do you want to completely forge a feud between us? Lu Muyin saw the hidden grim, killing intent in Ji's eyes. Her fingers wound around a strand of hair, playing about, as her red lips parted lightly. Are you saying we haven't completely forged a feud already? One, basically calling Luo Li out on his jealously LOL. An alternate version of saying grapes are sour, just because you can't eat them. Two, an expression that is used to say that they are difficult people to raise. Usually used discriminatorily towards women, but such sayings are generally used as jokes these days. Don't recommend using it in real life, though ha ha ha. 3, they've slept with each other already, something that usually only happens when you're married in traditional times. Chapter 229. Follow me back to be the mistress of my fort. Are you saying we haven't completely forged a feud already? Lu Muyin's voice was serene and slow, flowing like spring water, carrying an arrogance and domineering in her nice voice. Ji let out a chuckle and said with hostility, "Good. You really are good." A woman from a small and remote kingdom in the eastern region dared to be this arrogant in front of him. He looked up at Lu Muyin with eyes filled with grimness and ruthlessness. Do you think that with this array alone, you can kill us? You could try. Lu Muyin looked at him carefreely while playing with her strand of hair, as if she didn't care for Put Jiyu and the others at all. You truly are very conceited. Jiyu beckoned with a wave of his hand, and 2 dark golden scimitars appeared in both hands. Luo Li killed the last demonic beast within his 4 walls, and a layer of coldness rose on his eyes. Jiyu, you dare to try to touch her? Sinan said slovenly. Jiyu, Lu Muyin has now been included within the protection scope of this master. If you want to touch her, don't regret it. Although Hellion Lai liked to play safe and protect himself, but Lu Muyin had already become an ally, so he naturally wouldn't sit idly by. Lu Muyin is already allied with us. If you want to touch her, you have to pass us first. Luo Yi didn't say a word, but he had already shown his attitude when he landed in front of Lu Muyin with a flash. Although Yun Zmo and the others weren't as strong as them, but they were all ready to fight at any time, advancing or retreating together with Lu Muyin. Ji's face was terrifyingly grim. He didn't expect Lu Muyin, this woman, to have such power to rally supporters in only a few days. Remembering the array she was using now, an understanding flashed across his eyes. These people were all sounding great by saying it was because of the alliance, but they probably couldn't part with Lu Muyin's array to trap demonic beasts if she died. Let's go. Ji, you had deep scheming and wasn't an impulsive person. With these people working together, they had practically no chance of winning. The humiliation he received from these people today, he would definitely repay it many-fold another day. Mutong wanted to speak, but was stopped by his cold look. If it wasn't for this woman, he wouldn't be so humiliated either. It seemed that the position of crown princess wasn't suitable for her. The others also had killing intent towards Lu Muyin, but was also secretly annoyed by Mutong. Usually, it was nothing to be arrogant in the empire, but she still didn't restrain herself after coming into the competition space. Whenever she saw a sword master who wasn't from a superpower kingdom, she just wanted to step on them a bit. Now, not to mention that she had kicked on an iron plate, but she also implicated them to be unable to use Lu Muyin's array to earn points like the others. Although unwilling, but they had no other choice. Lu Muyin was guarded by Luo Yi and Sinan. They weren't their opponents at all. If they remained, they would only lose more face. Ji Yu and the others didn't remain any longer. They turned and returned from the direction they came, with killing intent in their eyes for their humiliation. Lu Muyin released the strand of hair she was playing with, her eyes as deep as the sea. This Ji Yu is very flexible. He will be a tough enemy in the future, Lu Muyin said. Mo Yan's cold black eyes were filled with killing intent. Just kill him before the end of the competition. We'll do it secretly. Lu Muyin nodded, the killing intent in her heart spreading. If one forged a feud against elite pupils of superpower kingdoms, and if they couldn't kill them within the competition space, then after going out, Yinzhou Kingdom would definitely suffer revenge from Jiyu and Mutong. Of course, she wouldn't be stupid enough to kill those people in public. She would just wait until there was a chance to assassinate them, so that the imperial family surnamed Ji couldn't even find a reason to suppress Yinzhou Kingdom. The teams below, listen up. I not only need to use magic tools to arrange the array, but I also need to consume elemental energy and pills. If you want to use my fire array to kill demonic beasts and earn points, I will not chase you away. Lu Muyin's face was indifferent, and her manner was cold. But you must hand over 2/3 of the demonic beast crystal cores you obtain from killing the demonic beasts as cost for renting the array. If you don't want to hand over your crystal cores, then leave immediately. If you attempt to get things for free, then Sinan's sword won't leave you alive. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, Sinan twitched the corners of his lips. What did she mean that his sword wouldn't leave them alive? Why didn't she involve Luo Li or Helian Lai? He sure discovered something. This woman didn't only just sought revenge for a single angry look, she was also petty. Didn't he just say a few words to test her that day? Did she have to remember it and take revenge on him? But he didn't say anything against her. He was deeply interested in her right now, so it was fine to be used as a sword. Luo Li fixedly stared at the arrogant and domineering Lu Muyin, his eyes even more fiery with desire. He disliked her arrogance and domineering. Mo Ling wanted to make it up to her a little to begin with. Upon hearing her say that, he felt that it was how it should be. Sure, with Mo Ling taking the lead, people from other large or medium, small kingdoms also didn't dare to object. Sinan, that capricious, abnormal monster, wasn't someone they could afford to offend. Right now, point to the most important. Although 2/3 of the demonic beast's crystal cores did make their heart hurt, but they didn't absolutely need it. We agree. Not one group left. They even wanted to just follow Lu Muyin and her group like this. The efficacy of killing beasts in beast tides was much faster than during the daytime. Then continue. Lu Muyin smiled with satisfaction. Her smile was soul-stirring, but it made many people's eyelids twitch. This woman sure changed her face quickly, because this wave of demonic beasts was composed of Tier 6 demonic beasts. Even with the support of Lu Muyin's array, it was still a bit time-consuming and laborious. When there was still only 1/3 of the demonic beasts left, the 2 transformation stage demon cultivators in the air finally acted. Interesting. I've long heard that there was a human who used arrays to specifically find the beast tides gathered by our race to kill. Seeing it today truly is extraordinary. A man with one antenna on his head appeared above the fire array, staring at Lu Muyin with cold eyes. Another burly, green-haired man licked the corner of his lips and let out a laugh. This is the first time I've seen a human swordmaster with a physique comparable to that of a demonic beast. I sure want to experience it a bit today. The two stared at their target, Lu Muyen. After watching the battle for so long, they discovered that this woman was definitely a big threat, if not removed. In addition, the close-quarters combat power she displayed also made the two demon cultivators a little interested, and their fighting spirit was strong. Your opponent is me. Luo Yi took a step forward, holding a silver longsword in his hand. The shadow of his tall and straight figure stretched long under the moonlight. Sinan curled his lips into a smile and flew up, landing beside Lu Muyen. But just as he wanted to show off a little, she spoke first. Sure, I would also like to experience the stone skin skill of a mountain-moving beast. The fighting intent in Lu Muyen's eyes was no weaker than the two demonic beasts opposite. She just happened to want to borrow the suppressing effect of high-level opponents to break through the bottleneck between Sword King and Sword Monarch. So she would be happy to accompany this opportunity that came to her door. Sinan and the others were stunned for a bit. He turned his head to look at her with a complicated expression and said, "Don't try to show off your ability. Leave it to me." Lu Muyen saw that the look of concern in his eyes didn't seem to be fake, and he was also acting rather responsible to want to share her burden. So the last bit of dislike towards him also disappeared in her heart. "No need. I can handle it. If I lose, then you can go up." Lu Muyen's stunning face bloomed into a very confident smile, which made Sinan's heart feel as if it had been hit by something. Ah, what a savage woman. I just like it so spicy, so flavorful. The burly man laughed a few times. "If you lose, how about you follow me back to be the mistress of my fort?" Hearing the demon cultivator's words, Luo Li and Sinan's face instantly darkened. In front of the crystal wall in the central castle, there still sat the elders of the several major sects. Sitting in the innermost side, when a white-clothed, beautiful man heard the burly man's words, a killing intent flashed across his eyes. Chapter 230. Do you dare to bet? If you lose, how about you follow me back to be the mistress of my fort? The words of the Tier 7 transformation stage demon cultivator resounded throughout the canyon, as if he were certain that Lu Muyen would be taken back by him. Lu Muyen's beautiful eyes narrowed slightly, and a devilishly charming smile rose on her lips. How about we make a bet? Although the burly man was a demon cultivator, but he also liked beautiful women, especially a violent and powerful human woman like Lu Muyen who itched his heart. He let out a laugh. "What bet? If you beat me today, I'll obediently follow you back to be the mistress of your fort. But if you lost to me, you'll obediently be my elder brother's spirit pet." Lu Muyen's eyes flashed with a sharpness. "Do you dare to bet? Be his spirit pet." The burly man's eyes flickered, then laughed a few times. "Sure, then let's bet. But just you wait to be the mistress of my fort." If he couldn't even deal with a human swordmaster at peak phase Sword King, then he really spent the thousands of years in this space in vain. Lu Muyen's initiative to make the bet greatly surprised everyone else. Lu Mu furrowed his brows in disapproval and attempted to stop them. "Yinner, I don't need any spirit pet. Don't joke around with your freedom." Lu Muyen cast a reassuring look at him. "Elder brother, don't worry. I never do anything that I'm not certain of. Either way, I have to fight anyways, so might as well collect a spirit pet along the way." Lu Mu Bei's eyes were filled with helplessness, but he knew that whatever little sister decided, it wouldn't change, so he could only nod his head. However, he was already prepared to protect her and leave even at the cost of his life if little sister lost. "Lu Muyen, have you gone crazy?" Luo Li moved to Lu Muyen's side angrily and pulled her arm to prevent her from going forward. Lu Muyen chuckled and patted his shoulder. "Little cat, don't worry, I won't lose." Ew. Luo Li looked at her firm and confident eyes, then turned his head angrily with a cold snort. However, he was extremely worried inwardly. Both Sinan and Helian Lai felt that Lu Muyen was being careless and too arrogant this time, but it was too late to stop it now. so they could only attempt to remedy it later. Only Luo Ye's expression remained unchanged, as if he had full confidence in Lu Muyen. The little beauty sure talks big. Then let me see how you win now. The burly man stomped his foot, and the entire canyon space trembled. In Lu Muyen's eyes, not only was there no fear, but instead, she had strong fighting intent. Sure. As soon as her word dropped, the burly man acted first, waving his huge fist, slamming it towards her with the sound of breaking air. A layer of a gentle, light red glow enveloped her hands. She tapped her toes lightly and greeted the fists of the burly man. Boom, boom! After the fists of the one human, one demon met, it made a few crisp sounds, and the ground below tore open a huge crack due to the impact of the fist storm. The burly man and Lu Muyen both used more than 5/10 of their strength, firstly, to test, and secondly, they wanted to heavily injure the other with a single blow. Good. The fighting spirit of the burly man was ignited. He was truly surprised that this woman could take his fist. Lu Muyen's figure flashed about, then quickly punched one fist after the other, each punch carrying with it a scorching fire elemental energy. Boom, boom! The most savage close-quarters combat was performed in midair with one human, one demon constantly bombarding each other. The loud sounds undulated, and the ground cracked open numerous gashes. The man with one antenna on his head looked coldly at the two figures fighting, then leapt over, but was blocked by Luo Yi. Your opponent is me. The man with the antenna sneered. Since you took the initiative to come to my door, then I'll send you off first. Luo Yi held a silver longsword in his hand and instantly entered battle with the man with the antenna. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World Site. Thanks. Nan looked at Lu Muyen and the burly man in their physical fight, who were on par with each other, in amazement. It seemed that he still underestimated Lu Muyen. But her frenzied fighting really was so beautiful it stirred his soul. Luo Li, how about we compete to see who kills more demonic beasts? Since they were betting, Sinan was also itching. Luo Li retracted his worried gaze, raised an eyebrow, and asked, What trade are we betting on? If you lose, you're not allowed to stop me from approaching Lu Muyen in the future. Sinan said bluntly, If you lose, you're not allowed to have your little ideas about her again in the future. Luo Li said without hesitation. Sinan's androgynous handsome face beamed with a smile. All right. And so the two jumped into the fire array and frantically harvested the lives of the Tier 6 demonic beasts. Although Luo Li's cultivation base was advanced phase Sword Monarch, but he had his own strengths, so his power when battling was pretty similar to that of Nan, who was at peak phase Sword Monarch. Above, in the air, Lu Muyen was punched on the shoulder by her opponent, shaking her so much so that a streak of blood dripped from her lips. The burly man wasn't too well either. After using his stone skin skill, he was still hit by the opponent's fist that had scorching hot flames, and many places on his body were in burning pain. His heart was also burnt by the force of the fire elemental energy. His eyes were filled with anger. This was the first time that someone had forced him into such a state. After mouthing a few sentences, his body suddenly grew bigger, and a layer of gray quickly enveloped his entire body. Not long after, his entire being looked like a stone sculpture. A trace of brilliance quickly flashed across Lu Muyen's eyes. The mountain-moving beast had infinite strength, rough skin, thick flesh, and an innate stone skin skill, but they had a fatal weakness. The reason why she was so confident that she could win against the burly big man was because she knew the weakness of the mountain-moving beast after petrified, but now wasn't the time to act on it. Take this. The burly man raised two giant petrified palms and slapped them towards Lu Muyen. Lu Muyen moved and used flash steps to dodge, while wrapping the green fog within her around her hands together with fire elemental energy. Using ghostly movements, she punched the man's body one fist after another. Her green sea of fog not only nourished and promoted growth, but also had the effect of penetration and corrosion. But the burly man was a Tier 7 demonic beast after all. Even though he was suppressed right now, but he also resisted fiercely and took an opportunity to slap Lu Muyin again. The palms carried explosive, demonic energy palm winds, and after landing, Lu Muyin felt as if her internal organs were all distorted. A mouthful of blood spurted out. When a mountain-moving beast was punched by her a few times, at the time, he only felt a little burnt and a little painful. However, after being forced to retreat a few steps, the skin on his entire body suddenly felt as if it were about to crack completely, and a kind of heart-wrenching pain attacked. The burly man raised his head and let out a shrill cry, making the sword masters fighting below unable to resist looking up at them. When the burly man's palm landed, Lu Muyin felt that the bottleneck that she was stuck in between Sword King and Sword Monarch was shattered inch by inch. Her dantian within began to operate and vigorously absorb the spiritual force of heaven and earth. Excellent hit. Lu Muyin laughed happily and pinched seals with her hands. In an instant, the wind and clouds of heaven and earth surged, and a hole was torn open in the dark night that looked as if it had no end in sight. Countless seven-colored spiritual clouds were born and landed above Lu Muyin's head. Spiritual energy lightning that contained boundless spiritual force descended one after another, striking Lu Muyin's body. Not only did her face not change, but instead, she wore a hearty smile. Her body was like a sponge, madly absorbing the spiritual force in the spiritual clouds, while spiritual energy lightning bolts fell on her body, numbing it, shaping, and repairing the meridians of her entire body. What? She actually wants to use the battle to advance. And she also attracted spiritual clouds for body tempering. She's truly crazy. An elder of the 6 major sects in the central castle pointed at the crystal wall, faltering, completely dumbstruck. Chapter 231. Advanced to Sword Monarch, countless 7-colored spiritual clouds floated out from the slit torn open in the night, and the entire canyon was shrouded in 7-colored neon clouds, beautiful and splendid. Spiritual energy lightning struck Lu Muyin's body one after another. She quickly mobilized her dantian, and the sorcerer's skill roamed around her body, cooperating with her spiritual energy to temper her body again and again. Seeing this, the burly man was horrified. Disregarding the pain in his body, he wanted to turn away and leave, but a distant voice sounded in his sea of consciousness. "Kill her, kill her!" His eyes that were filled with horror was replaced by scarlet, and he condensed the demonic energy of his entire body into his 2 giant palms, then slammed them towards Lu Muyin. In actual fact, the most powerful aspect of a mountain-moving beast wasn't its attack, but its defense. The reason why Lu Muyin could hurt him was because her fire elemental energy carried a trace of purple-gold spirit flames. Otherwise, even if a strong sword sovereign powerhouse came, it would be very difficult to hurt him. Seeing the trace of scarlet streak across the burly man's jaded eyes, and that he had raised his petrified palm to slap towards her, Lu Muyin narrowed her eyes. The opportunity had arrived. After the mountain-moving beast was petrified, he had a weakness where he would temporarily lose his reason, and there was an acupuncture point on his back that, when tapped, would paralyze him for a few breaths of time. What she wanted was precisely for him to go crazy. "Lu Muyin, be careful." Seeing this, Luoli flew up and wanted to help. "It's fine." Lu Muyin waved her hand at Luoli, stopping him from helping. Luoli sighed and stepped back. This woman was simply too stubborn. Lu Muyin disappeared in a flash, and the 7-colored clouds followed her figure, maneuvering around, as if an auspicious omen, shrouding her in a layer of 7-colored warm light. "Rise!" she shouted coldly, and the golden sword beneath her feet instantly transformed into 10 golden flying swords, all heading directly towards the petrified burly man. Once the mountain-moving beast was completely petrified, the flexibility of its body would be greatly reduced, and its defense would also become so tough it'd be a demonic beast race that could be ranked among the top 50. There were advantages and disadvantages. Ding-dang! The 10 flying swords were instantly slapped away by the mountain-moving beast. Even if they all fell on him, wouldn't hurt him at all and made clanging sounds on the outer layer of the stone surface. Facing an already petrified mountain-moving beast, Lu Muyin naturally wouldn't be stupid enough to fight flesh to flesh. Her body was indeed comparable to a Tier 6 demonic beast, but the petrified body of a mountain-moving beast was only even tougher than Bing Ji before his demonic energy was sealed and not inferior. If she forcibly tried to speak with her fists, then she would definitely receive internal injuries after being hit. Roar, roar. The crazy mountain-moving beast who had completely lost his senses couldn't hit Lu Muyin each time it attacked, so it grew even madder, roaring and beating his chest with his fists as if a maddened orangutan. Boom, boom. He raised his large hands and directly slammed the ground, causing the earth to split open into numerous ravines. The remaining force of the fist wind swept up the stones on the ground and flew towards Lu Muyin, forming a powerful whirlwind, its power astonishingly terrifying. Sinan and the others looked ahead in shock and almost couldn't resist acting. They were afraid that Lu Muyin wouldn't be able to take on that power. Even if they took it on, they would probably also be injured. At the same time, the people below turned their attention to the direction of Lu Muyin in the distance, while a small part of their attention was on killing demonic beasts. They all wanted to see how she would deal with it. A slight arc rose on Lu Muyin's lips. She closed her eyes, and the moment they opened, they were dyed with a layer of light, a look that revealed that she had succeeded in her calculations. With a thought, she set free her Bodhis limitations to absorb the spiritual force in the spiritual clouds. When her endurance instantly exceeded the load, she moved her hands gently in front of her and drew in 8 trigrams in front of her chest. Then she immediately took a deep breath, pushed her palms out, and a violent spiritual force in her body was instantly transformed into spiritual energy through her dantian, forming a black and white aura. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World Site. Thanks, and 8 trigrams formed from spiritual energy guarded before Lu Muyin, and the violent whirlwind perfectly landed on the 8 trigrams. The 2 spiritual energies of one black, one white whirled slowly, and the moment the whirlwind landed on the 8 trigrams, it was blocked by a gentle power within it. The energy in the 8 trigrams fluctuated slowly, but each time it circulated, the violent whirlwind would weaken a bit. Boom, boom. The more than a dozen 7-colored spiritual clouds gradually converged into a huge 7-colored spiritual cloud, and the spiritual energy lightning bolts that fell on Lu Muyin's body was even thicker. The lightning condensed from spiritual energy was different to normal thunder and lightning. It would only appear under certain circumstances, and it didn't have the lethality of thunder and lightning. Of course, when a lightning condensed by spiritual force struck Lu Muyin, it would be used to temper her body through her sorcerer's skill, so she not only wasn't harmed by it, but she also obtained many benefits. But if a sword master who didn't have such a body refining method dared to temper their body with the help of the lightning from spiritual clouds, if they didn't have any special means to absorb it, then their meridians would be blocked by a large amount of spiritual force in the future, and their cultivation would also be terminated. That's why her behavior was so shocking. Without making a loud noise, the violent whirlwind the mountain-moving beast brought was blocked bit by the 8 trigrams formed through borrowing the spiritual clouds and spiritual cloud lightning. Seeing this, the mountain-moving beast rushed over, raised his huge palms, and began to slap the 8 trigrams in an attempt to destroy it. Clang! Lu Muyin heard a sound from her spiritual platform 1, and the bottleneck she was stuck in between Sword King and Sword Monarch was instantly shattered by the violent spiritual force in her body. Her body was like a sponge right now, vigorously absorbing the spiritual force in the spiritual cloud. The spiritual cloud gradually shrank, and the spiritual energy lighting weakened, then finally disappeared. When the 7-colored spiritual cloud shrunk, faded, then finally dissipated, Lu Muyin's cultivation base broke straight to the peak of initial phase, Sword Monarch. After she advanced, she felt that her entire body was filled with strength. The effect of the tempering of spiritual energy lightning sure was good. Plus, she had been drinking bloodsack wine for a long time, so her sorcerer skill actually automatically broke through from level 2 to initial stage level 3. Right now, because of the dissipation of the spiritual cloud, the power of the 8 trigrams was also weakened, and was finally slapped away by the mountain-moving beast. His eyes were crimson, and he rushed towards Lu Mu Yin with his huge body. A faint smile rose on Lu Mu Yan's lips, and she counted softly, 3, 2, 1. Everyone present was curious as to why she was counting, but when her voice landed on 1, the incomparably ferocious mountain-moving beast actually stopped in place, as if dazed, then instantly fell to the ground with a bang. Punk! His huge body fell to the ground involuntarily, and the earth trembled a bit, dust floating everywhere. Lu Mu Yin tapped her toes and moved to the body of the mountain-moving beast in only a few steps using her flash steps, dust covering her and the demonic beast body. As soon as she rushed over, landing on a mountain-moving beast, she immediately mouthed a difficult incantation, then slapped her palm heavily, and the Taoist seals condensed from spiritual energy in her palm penetrated one after another into the mountain-moving beast. The spiritual energy Taoist seals that penetrated the mountain-moving beast made the crimson of his eyes fade, and he slowly regained his clarity. After he completely regained consciousness, the ancient contract skill was also deeply wound around the miniature version of the mountain-moving beast in his Yaofu. When the dust and mist dissipated, everyone watched Lu Mu Yin jump off the body of the mountain-moving beast. Then she looked at the mountain-moving beast with indifferent eyes and said, "You lost." One author never explained what it is, and it's the first time it's mentioned, but I'm pretty sure it might literally be a spiritual platform that's there blocking her advancement to Sword Monarch, like a physical layer. Chapter 232. Talent is too poor that I'm not interested. You lost. Lu Muyan's voice wasn't too loud, but everyone present heard it. The petrified gray energy on the mountain-moving beast faded away, and he found that his demon soul in his Yaofu was already wound with a contract skill. His eyes were a little dazed. He was actually imprinted with a contract seal during a battle where he used petrification. How is that possible? How did you do it? He returned to the appearance of a burly man, stood up and patted the dust on his body, looking at the stunning woman in front of him with a complicated gaze. Lu Mu Yin didn't say it aloud and instead telepathically said, "After you become petrified, you'll go berserk and your whole body will become as strong as black iron, but you have a fatal weakness. After being stabbed in the acupoint on your back, you'll be unconscious for a while." The mountain-moving beast was shocked. You actually know this secret. The secret of the fatal weakness of the mountain-moving beast was something that even other demonic beast races that the mountain-pushing beasts were on very friendly terms with didn't know. He really didn't expect this human woman to know such a secret. "Don't worry, I won't spread it," Lu Mu Yin said with a smile, seeing the fear in his eyes. The hovering heart of the mountain-moving beast relaxed a little. If this woman leaked their secret, the entire mountain-moving beast race might face the disaster of extinction. "You kept hitting me with your fists just now, but you didn't get close to my back. How did you do it?" This was also something the mountain-moving beast didn't understand. Although he temporarily lost his reason when he was petrified, but he still remembered what happened prior to regaining his senses. Lu Mu Yin indeed didn't come close to contact with his back. "When I attack you with the flying swords, I secretly released a few flying needles. When you destroyed the 8 trigrams, I activated the golden needles pierced on your body. Plus, I smeared the human-eating bloodthorn vine king's vine thorn paralysis poison on the golden needles. So before you could even attack me, you collapsed." She actually originally made 2 sets of golden needles. One set was made from Heavenly Frost golden crystal, used to save people, and the other set was made from Heavenly Frost golden essence, used to kill people. The Heavenly Frost golden essence could be considered a divine rank spiritual item together with the soul-nourishing wood and tin or so other spiritual items. So it was naturally extraordinary and was incomparable, even compared to the Heavenly Frost golden crystal. Therefore, The refined golden needles could easily penetrate into back of a petrified mountain-moving beast. Of course, separately refining it was also to avoid being exposed. If high-level cultivators knew that she had a set of poisonous needles refined from heavenly frost golden essence, they would definitely be tempted to kill and steal her treasure. The mountain-moving beast was now already imprinted with a contract seal by her and couldn't betray her at all. Otherwise, he would be purged by the restrictions of the laws of heaven and earth. This was why she told him the truth through telepathy. Lu Muyin saw everyone looking at them suspiciously, then said slowly, "If you agree to bet, you must accept to lose. Will you accept the contract?" The mountain-moving beast was very suffocated inwardly. You already imprinted a contract seal on Laozi's one demon soul, and you still ask, will you accept the contract? He'll accept the contract. His voice was muddled, and it was obvious that he wasn't happy. Lu Muyin didn't care whether he was happy or not, right? He tapped him on the head with her long sword. "From now on, you will obediently be my elder brother's spirit pet. Otherwise, be careful that I won't be polite to you. If you dare go against my elder brother's wishes, but let him massage your back a few times every day." Then her threatening voice sounded in the mountain-moving beast's sea of consciousness. The mountain-moving beast was originally resistant, but that completely collapsed instantly. He must have 8 lifetimes of rotten luck to have met this sort of woman too. If he let her elder brother stab him in the back every day, then without even passing the day, he definitely would be completely paralyzed. Just thinking of such a scene made him unable to resist shuddering. "Who's your elder brother?" Although he was a little afraid of Lu Muyin, but if the owner she found for him was weak and stupid, then as a high-level demonic beast, he would rather die than contract him in order to maintain his dignity. Lu Muyin could guess what he was thinking. She walked towards Lu Mu Bai, hugged his arm, then walked back in front of the mountain-moving beast. "He's my elder brother." Lu Mu Bai didn't expect that little sister could really subdue this tier 7 demonic beast. While he was shocked inwardly, he was also helpless at the same time, with a doting look in his eyes. "Yinner, his defense is very strong. You can contract him yourself. If we meet others, then elder brother will contract then. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site." Thanks little sister had offended a lot of people recently. So if she contracted this tier 7 spirit pet, then her strength would be greatly increased, and it would be much safer for her. "Elder brother, I don't contract just any demonic beast. His talent is too poor that I'm not interested. You also make do for now. It'll change it for you when we find a better one." Lu Muyin glanced at the mountain-moving beast with unsatisfaction. The mountain-moving beast's nose almost didn't become crooked from anger. What did she mean that she wasn't interested in his talent? It only took him 1,000 years to advance to tier 7. Such talent was already considered a genius among the mountain-moving beasts, all right? The most irritating thing was that she even said that when she found a better demonic beast, she'd change him for that. Damn, was he really that bad? Not only the mountain-moving beast, but the other people present also rolled their eyes when they heard Lu Muyin's words. Did she need to be this arrogant? She was even unsatisfied with a tier 7 defense-type demonic beast that was considered semi-invincible. Even if a sword sovereign came, they would probably be tempted by this kind of spirit pet. Just how high were her standards? Truly, comparing oneself to another could definitely infuriate oneself to death. In fact, Lu Muyin wasn't joking nor trying to comfort Lu Mu Bai when she said this. She had seen the talent of this mountain-moving beast when she contracted him. At most, he could only reach tier 10, and that was under the condition that he had heaven-defying luck and unlimited resources. The spirit pets she had contracted so far were far more awesome one after the other. Mo Yin had a pure king-class bloodline, an existence that was comparable to a true dragon and heavenly phoenix, with a mysterious background. Bing Ji was the descendant of a Cyanwan divine beast, and could also be regarded as a divine beast himself. Miao Miao had the pure bloodline of a golden dragon divine beast within her, and after she shed her Jiao and transformed into a dragon, she would inevitably become a golden dragon race, which was a higher level existence than that of even a Cyan. One demonic beast. And although the human-eating blood-thorn vine king's bloodline wasn't as good as the other spirit pets, but he had superior, heaven-defying talent, and was a demonic plant that was hard to meet even in tens of thousands of years, even rarer than a divine beast. With the comparison of these 4 demonic beasts, her standards for contracting spirit pets were naturally much higher. His defense is very strong. He can protect you a bit if you take him in. Lu Mu Bai continued to push. He thought that what Lu Mu Yan said just now was to comfort him. His defense is very powerful, but wasn't he still subdued by me? Lu Mu Yan directly grabbed Lu Mu Bei's hand, pierced it with a needle, and a drop of blood essence fell on the forehead of the mountain-moving beast. Elder brother, if you don't contract him, he'll be angry. Lu Mu Bai sighed and looked at little sister in amusement, with warmth spreading in his heart. All right, he'll contract. This was a representation of little sister's feelings. Since she insisted, then he wouldn't refuse again. With her talent and strength, she could indeed have better choices. Lu Mu Bei's blood essence entered the forehead of the mountain-moving beast. Lu Mu Yin stretched out her hand and formed a few contract Taoist seals, merging the blood essence with the contract seal in the mountain-moving beast's demon soul. Go contract! Lu Mu Bai closed his eyes, and a trace of mental energy merged with the demon soul in the Yaofu of the mountain, pushing beast to contract. Instantly, a soft, jade-colored light enveloped Lu Mu Bai and the mountain-moving beast, then gradually dissipated after a while. Owner, the mountain-moving beast respectfully called out to Lu Mu Bai. Although Lu Mu Yan's elder brother wasn't as abnormally monstrous as her, but after the contract, he found that this owner's talent was also very strong, with a lot of room for development, so his resistance to the contract was also much less. Lu Mu Bai and the mountain-moving beast now had a mental connection, and a gentle smile appeared on his elegant and handsome face. From now on, we'll be companions. With Lu Mu Yan's help, Lu Mu Bai really contracted this Tier 7 transformation stage demonic beast, which instantly dumbfounded everyone present, including the elders of the 6 major sects who were watching the battle within the central castle. One reminder, lousy is an arrogant way to address oneself, usually used by men. 2. A popular colloquial saying that expresses just how unlucky one is. Chapter 233. The attention of the 6 major sects, the central castle of the competition space. The elders of the 6 major sects could no longer describe their feelings with words at this time. That sword master, named Lu Mu Yin from a small kingdom, completely impressed them. The gaze of the elder of the Spirit Tamers sect towards Lu Mu Yin was as gentle as it could get, with also a sharp light of desire. With such talent as a beast tamer, if she doesn't come to our Spirit Tamers sect, then it'd be a waste. The cyan-clothed elderly man of the Spirit Tamers sect said forcefully with a smile. The strong and sturdy elderly man snorted coldly. I'd say her best talent is in a raise. Don't even think about contending for her with his old man. Such a good seedling. Our 8 Extreme sect would never let go this time. In the last 2 sessions of the Tianling Continent Tournament for Hegemony, the 8 Extreme sect had been robbed of many good seedlings by the other 5 sects, so this time he definitely wouldn't compromise and let go of Lu Mu Yin. The tall and thin man from the Sword sect sneered after hearing his words. Do we even need the 8 Extreme sect to let go? If you can really persuade Lu Mu Yin to go to your 8 Extreme sect, then very well, our Sword sect would not compete with you. Big deal. Among the 6 major sects, the 8 Extreme sect was last in every sect competition. The top 10 sword masters participating in the tournament for Hegemony had the right to choose their own sect, and there had already been 2 consecutive sessions where no one had chosen the 8 Extreme sect. The remaining 90 people were divided equally into each sect, and not many of the young sword masters who were assigned to the 8 Extreme sect were sincerely willing. This rogue old man actually wanted to take this year's dark horse back to the 8 Extreme sect. He truly was indulging in the wildest fantasy. They believed that with Lu Mu Yan's intelligence and cleverness, she definitely wouldn't choose the 8 Extreme sect that was at the bottom of the 6 major sects, so they didn't take it to heart at all. This is what you said, Humph. The strong and sturdy elderly man snorted coldly. He was well aware of the thoughts of the other sect elders, but it was rare to encounter such a good seedling who had such talent for the path of the arrays. So no matter what conditions he had to make, he would not give it up. All right now, if she can advance into the top 100 of the tournament, then we'll rely on our own abilities to try to contend for her. The wise old man from the heavenly secret palace said slowly. This dark horse, the secret heavenly palace, would take it. The elders of the other sects also had their own plans in mind. Either way, aside from those who were already predetermined in the top 10 of each tournament, whenever they encountered a dark horse, each sect could offer conditions to tempt them. The competition amongst the sect had long become a sort of intangible common practice. The elders of the various sects had different expressions, while a very small arc rose on the lips of the otherworldly, handsome, white-clothed man sitting at the very back. Woman, I believe we'll meet again very soon. In the canyon, Luo Li and the others looked at Lu Mu Yin in disbelief. She was actually also a high-level spirit beast master? Wasn't this too exaggerated? She could refine pills, could brew spiritual wine, knew the path of the arrays, and now she could even contract spirit pets. Just what did she not know how to do? What are you looking at me for? Hurry up and kill the demonic beast so that we can return to the city. Lu Mu Yin furrowed her brows when she saw that everyone was staring at her. The others lowered their heads speechlessly and began to kill the demonic beasts in front of them. However, they noted Lu Mu Yin down, thinking that it would be best to befriend her in the future. Lu Mu Yin, do you know how to refine tools? Luo Li approached her and asked. Lu Mu Yin said with amusement, I haven't refined before. Only after hearing her say this did they find a little balance in their hearts. Otherwise, with a woman with such heaven-defying talent, how could these men, who claim to be geniuses, continue to live? The other Tier 7 demon cultivator with an antenna was forced by Luo Yi to transform into his original form and retreat in a sorry state. But he also gave a cold look towards Lu Mu Yin before escaping. After all the demonic beasts in the fire array were killed, Lu Mu Yin and the others' points soared rapidly. Her current total points ranking had already advanced to 23rd place. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, let's go back to the city first. With a thought, the jade magic tools buried in the ground to trigger the fire array were automatically shattered into powder. She had just advanced to Sword Monarch with the help of the battle with the Tier 7 demonic beast and the spiritual clouds. So now she needed to return to the city to stabilize her cultivation base. Let's go. Luo Yi also knew that she wanted to go back to the city to stabilize her cultivation base, so he was very cooperative. Lu Mu Yin only took 2 steps before she suddenly turned around and said to Sinan, by the way, they used my fire array just now and need to hand over 2/3 of the demonic beast crystal cores, so the task of collecting crystal cores is left to you. The corner of Sinan's lips twitched. Sure, you all leave first. They'll see you when I return to the city. He just tied with Luo Li in the competition to kill the most demonic beasts, and his interest in Lu Mu Yin was currently very strong, so he naturally wouldn't give up his attention for her. Mo Ling looked calmly at Lu Mu Yin, Luo Yi, and the others leaving, exuding a cool pride and aloofness. Mo Ling, how many demonic beasts did you kill? Hand over the demonic beast crystal cores. Sinan walked up to Mo Ling's group and said with a slovenly smile. Mo Ling didn't quite like the androgynous, capricious Sinan, so he didn't want to be too entangled with him. He took out the demonic beast crystal cores he had long prepared and tossed it to him. All in here. After he finished speaking, he took the few elite pupils under him and followed in the footsteps of Lu Mu Yin and the others. Sinan pursed his lips. How very boring. After returning to the city, Lu Mu Yin arranged an array in her room and began to meditate to consolidate her cultivation base. And the news that she could use a fire array to kill medium and small-sized beast tides by isolating and separating them into waves was also spread by scheming people, including the matter of being able to contract Tier 7 spirit pets. However, Although there were many people who believed in the situation about the fire array, but was it even possible for a small kingdom's sword master to actually be able to contract a demonic beast 2 stages higher than herself? Either way, they wouldn't believe it. When Lu Mu Yin woke up, she was filled with spiritual energy, and when she flipped her hand over, a cluster of pure crimson flames leapt about her palm. Your fire elemental energy has become much purer again. Mo Yin felt the temperature in the room suddenly rise and raised his head, saying lightly. Lu Mu Yan's lips curled into a smile. Indeed. She got up and poked Mo Yan's body, blinking as she said, "Didn't you want to teach me your secret skill?" Mo Yin looked at her without a good attitude, while he had a faint smile in his eyes. "Then let's start learning now." So Lu Mu Yin didn't leave her room and began to cultivate the secret skill with Mo Yin. One day and one night passed. Although Luo, Li, and the others didn't know when she would come out, but they didn't disturb her. They rested in their rooms during the day and didn't even go out hunting at night. When a ray of morning light broke through the darkness and illuminated the earth, Lu Mu Yin opened the door and left her room. After she existed, the members of the 4 groups gathered together to have a discussion. We'll leave during the day and directly go hunting at night, Lu Mu Yin suggested when she saw that the others were filled with energy, having not gone hunting during the time she cultivated. Sure, everyone was very satisfied with her suggestion. Even if they didn't compete with other teams for demonic beasts during the day, they could still prepare for beast tides. The 4 teams left the city early in the morning and headed towards the distant mountains to hunt. Along the way, it was as if the demonic beasts had disappeared completely, not even seeing a single fur. Everyone knew that this was because they were hunted and killed by the teams of other kingdoms. Right when the 4 teams were discussing to leave and rest at the foot of a mountain nearby to wait for nightfall, there was a sudden sound of battling from the rear. Lu Mu Yan's expression changed, and although she had already walked for a while, she immediately turned around and flew in the direction of the fight. Chapter 234. Retaliate. Verbally hearing the battling sounds at their rear, Lu Mu Yin turned around and flew towards it. Why did she turn back? Helian Lai asked in confusion as he looked at Lu Mu Yan's back that disappeared from sight. Lu Oli shook his head, "Don't know." Lu Mu Bai and the others exchanged a look, then turned around and followed without hesitation. "Let's go take a look too." Luo Yi furrowed his brows slightly. He felt that Lu Mu Yan's emotions changed drastically just now. Luo, Li, and Si Nin couldn't wait any longer to begin with and flew straight into the woods. Lu Mu Yan didn't take it to heart when she heard the sound of fighting just now. After all, there were often scenes of fighting happening over the competition for demonic beasts. But after walking for a while, she suddenly felt Yi Qing Han's elemental energy fluctuation, so she couldn't resist any longer and headed back. After quickly rushing into an open area, she jumped onto a big tree and looked down. All she saw was Ling Fei Yang's lips smeared with a streak of undried blood, face pale, and he stood towards the back, guarding a beautiful, white-clothed woman. Mu Yi and Shi Feng's aura was weak, and one could tell they were seriously injured with one look. There were 2 men beside them who were seriously injured and in a coma. Yi Qing Han, dressed in dark-patterned black clothes, held a long sword tightly, and his clothes were ripped in many places. He stood in front of the injured people and stared at the 7 people in front of him with a cold expression. The people in front of him were none other than Mu Tong and Jiyu, whom Lu Mu Yin knew. "You guys really overrate your own abilities, daring to resist us with such little strength." Mu Tong looked at the several people arrogantly and pursed her lips. The white-clothed woman whom Ling Fei Yang was supporting had a cold look, gasping for breath, saying, "Mu Tong, you let them go, and I'll let you do to me as you please." Mu Tong sneered, "My good elder sister, your ability to seduce men sure isn't weak. Just how long has it been? And you've already seduced these people to protect you with their lives. But since you're going to die, then it's natural for me, as your younger sister, to fulfill you a bit. It's better to send all these adulterers to hell to accompany you." Seeing Mu Ning's face grow more and more ugly, A joyous mockery rose in her heart. Mu Tong, do not speak such nonsense. Mu Ning spurted out a mouthful of blood, and her face grew even whiter with anger. The joy in Mu Tong's eyes wasn't concealed. Elder sister, you've done it, as simple as that. Why don't you dare to admit it? Lu Mu Yin furrowed her brows. The white-clothed woman seemed to have an extremely cold and calm temperament, and if she fought verbally, she simply wouldn't be Mu Tong's opponent. Enough, just kill her. Ji Yu couldn't bear to look at Mu Ning. Then his gaze fell on Ling Fei Yang with a look of disgust in his cold eyes. He waved his hand to the people behind him. Leave none. As his former betrothed, Mu Ning came to this competition space and actually hooked up with another man. This made Ji Yu feel very unhappy, as if he had been given a green hat to wear. Ling Fei Yang was still gentle and elegant, but had some regret in his eyes. Was he going to die here in the end? Mu Yi and Shi Feng both revealed signs of hopelessness. They simply weren't a match for their opponents. It seemed that this time they were going to fall in this competition space. The white knuckles of Yi Qing Han's hand that was holding the long sword revealed that he was not at all at peace. He was the strongest in their group. If he wanted to abandon them and escape, he could still do it, but he wasn't able to do such a thing. Was he going to die? A beautiful, elegant, purple-clothed figure suddenly appeared in his mind. Was she all right now? Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, although Yi Qing Han felt the shadow of death gradually looming over, but he didn't want to give up. Don't give up. Even if we die, we have to pull a few people down for us to lie on. His voice wasn't loud, but carried with it a firm determination. Even if he fell here today, he would definitely make Ji Yu and the others pay a heavy price. Mu Ning pressed her lips together tightly, and she couldn't hide the apologetic look in her eyes. She knew that with Mu Tong and Ji Ye's temperament, they would definitely never let Ling Fei Yang and the others go. It was she who harmed them all. After hearing the order, the people behind Ji Yu took a step and swung their swords to kill the severely injured people. But who knew that a playful woman's voice sounded in the woods? It sure is the first time I've seen such a shameless woman in this world. Not only hooking up with her elder sister's betrothed to become an adulterous couple, but they even have the nerve to say that others are unclean. It truly makes me laugh aloud. Ji Yu and the others didn't notice anyone else in the forest before at all, and when they heard this voice, they all looked in that direction. All they saw was an alluring woman in a light purple dress, with a hint of ridicule on her face, jumping down from a big tree and walking over in a leisurely manner, as if walking in a courtyard. It's you, bitch. Mu Tong couldn't resist, but cursed Lu Mu Yin when she saw that it was her. Lu Mu Yin glanced at her. Not as much of a bitch as you. Miss, this is our private matter. Please don't get involved, and leave quickly. Yi Qing Han still had a cold expression on his face while restraining his excitement. But his clenched fists betrayed his nervousness at this time. When Ling Fei Yang and the others saw Lu Mu Yin appear, they couldn't help but sigh with relief, but then their hearts began to hover again. No one called out her name, and they pretended not to know her when they saw her. Ji Yu and the others came from Superpower Kingdom and were very powerful. Lu Mu Yin wasn't their opponent at all. They couldn't drag her into the water with them. Lu Mu Yin smiled and walked to Yi Qing Han's side, looking at him with slight mischievousness, saying, Qing Han, why? Don't you know me anymore after not seeing me for a few months? I'm going to be hurt. After she finished speaking, she looked at him as if she was so aggrieved she wanted to cry. Yi Qing Han's heart softened, and he sighed helplessly. In such a situation, why do you need to get involved? You're all important people to me, so of course I won't sit idly by. Lu Mu Yin smiled indifferently. Besides, I just don't think they're pleasing to the eyes. Hearing her say that they were all important people, Yi Qing Han's long and narrow eyes rippled, his heart soft and warm. This was the woman he had deeply fallen in love with steadfast loyalty. Oh, I was wondering who came out to fight the injustice, so it turned out to be you, one woman. Mu Tong spoke with ridicule when she saw the interaction between Lu Mu Yin and Yi Qing Han, hating inwardly. What? Luo Li dumped you. And now you've come to snatch men from my elder sister? Mu Tong, you're slandering. Mu Ning's eyes were filled with killing intent. Yi Qing Han didn't explain. He had nothing to do with Mu Ning to begin with. It would only be more chaotic if he said more. Lu Mu Yin raised an eyebrow and said with a smile, "Only a wanton woman would see everyone else as such. A woman like you who seduced your brother-in-law to bed should have been caged in a pig cage long ago. Yet you still have face to display your love with that adulterer, as if you fear others won't know how many disgusting things a cheating couple like you have done behind the scenes." She had already heard Luo Li talk about Mu Tong, the second daughter of the main bloodline. Her mother was the Mu patriarch's little concubine that became the official wife, and also his so-called true love. After Mu Tun came of age, she schemed and snatched her elder sister's betrothed and even slandered her elder sister's reputation. It seemed that the white-clothed woman beside Ling Fei Yang was Mu Tong's elder sister, Mu Ning. This woman was solitary and cold, without much scheming. No wonder she could be schemed by the mother and daughter pair. Lu Mu Yin, are you going to meddle in our affairs today? Ji Yu stared at Lu Mu Yin coldly, with a very ugly expression. Having the past between he and Mu Tong revealed by Lu Mu Yin just like that, it not only made him look bad, but the killing intent could no longer be stopped either. Chapter 235. The killing intent of each person. Yes, undisguised killing intent was revealed. Are you going to meddle in our affairs today? How can this bear affairs? Lu Mu Yin folded her arms, her voice cold. My friends and my elder cousin brothers were severely injured by you, so this debt must be settled clearly. There is a path to heaven that you don't take. Instead, you want to break into hell that has no path one. Ji's eyes revealed ruthlessness. Today will be your death day. Lu Mu Yin chuckled, the sharpness in her eyes flashing. They'll see how you can turn today into my death day. The killing intent on her body was not concealed the slightest. Ji Yu and his party had possessed killing intent towards her for a long time, and they were going to kill Yi Qing Han and Ling Fei Yang just now too. They already stepped on her baseline. Arrogant. Ji Yu sneered, and two dark golden scimitars appeared in his hands. Mu Yin, he already has the strength to fight a sword sovereign. Yi Qing Han stepped forward to block Lu Mu Yin. Let me. Lu Mu Yin's heart warmed. She took out a few bottles of healing medicine from her interspatial ring and tossed it to the people behind, then tugged Yi Qing Han's sleeve and said softly, Qing Han, believe me. Luo Li and seen and felt extremely sour when they saw Lu Mu Yin showing a warm expression to the handsome, black-clothed man. Who was that man to Lu Mu Yin? He didn't quite look like her lover. Yi Qing Han's heart trembled, pursed his thin lips, and took a step back. Mu Yin, be careful. This sentence fully demonstrated his trust. A woman like Lu Mu Yin would feel disdain at hiding behind man. What she wanted was to stand side by side. Lu Mu Yin stuffed a bottle of medicine for internal injury into his hand. You take a rest first. All right. Yi Qing Han took the porcelain bottle that still had Lu Mu Yin's body temperature, held it tightly, and stepped aside, watching the others vigilantly after taking a pill. Ji Yu narrowed his eyes dangerously. This woman would surely become a serious problem in the future. You kill her. Mu Tong looked at Lu Mu Yin sinisterly. Ever since she fought against Lu Mu Yin that day, she knew that she wasn't her opponent. Only Ji Yu could kill her. You all go and kill the others first to avoid future troubles. Ji Yu coldly swept his gaze over Yi Qing Han and the others. While he was fighting Lu Mu Yin, he didn't want to let these people go and wanted to catch everything in one net. Mu Tong nodded, a happy smile appearing on her pretty face. She looked at Mu Ning meaningfully and said, Elder sister, don't blame younger sister for being cruel. Who told you to be so unpleasant to look at? It's already at our tolerance limit for my mother and I to have let you live until now. There is the first elder in the Mu clan to protect you, but now let younger sister send you off. Because Mu Ning's mother occupied the position of the official wife, and once had a powerful maternal clan, her mother had to endure being a concubine, and she also had to remain as a concubine's daughter for more than a decade. But the heavens had eyes, and Mu Ning's maternal grandfather's clan offended a powerful force and was exterminated, giving her mother the opportunity to remove that woman who was occupying that position, although she had become the daughter of the official wife. But Mu Ning had the most powerful first elder of the Mu clan protecting her. That's why she and her mother hadn't been able to find a chance to act. Now that she had such an opportunity, how could she let go of it? The jealousy and hatred in her heart had long made her want to tear Mu Ning into thousands of pieces. Cough, cough. Mu Ning coughed up a few mouthfuls of blood. Her eyes revealed a deep feeling of remorse. She wasn't afraid of death, but regretted that she couldn't avenge her mother. Ling Fei Yang felt her emotions and held her hand, his warm voice soothing. Don't be afraid. We won't die. Mu Ning's cold eyes rarely fluctuated slightly. Sorry. It's all because of me to have caused you trouble. No worries. Ling Fei Yang's handsome and unparalleled face had a smile, and his calmness gave Mu Ning a peace of mind. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, Pei. You're all going to die and you're still acting romantic and confiding in each other. Shameless. Mu Tong hated Mu Ning not only for her identity, but also because of Mu Ning's face that was known as the #1 beauty of the empire. Seeing so many men be enamored with Mu Ning, she couldn't help but feel envious. Lu Muyin found that Ling Fei Yang's attitude towards Mu Ning was rather different. Could it be that this was the woman her elder cousin brother truly liked? She didn't dislike Mu Ning, since she was the woman that elder cousin brother liked. Then she was naturally the object of her protection. Right now, she was going to fight against Ji Yu, but Yi Qing Han and the others have been severely injured, so they definitely wouldn't be the 6 advanced phase Sword Monarch's opponents. If you've watched enough drama, then come out and help. Lu Muyin raised an eyebrow at the woods, not far away. If Helian Lai and Si Nin wanted to befriend her, then they should at least show some sincerity. Sinan walked out gaudily with his gold foil folding fan. I was just about to come out to help you when you called me. Lu Muyin rolled her eyes at him. This gaudy man sure was thick-skinned. Helian Lai still looked like an uninhibited romantic, looking as if I was also here to help. Lu Oli walked quickly towards Lu Muyan's side and looked at Ji Yu unhappily. Ji Yu, you're too conceited. Humph. Don't think that I won't dare touch you, just because you're from the Luo clan. Ji Yu hated Luo Li extremely. He temporarily yielded before because of Luo Yi and the Luo clan, but it made Luo Li even more arrogant. His face was grim, and a black pellet fell in his hand. He squeezed it gently, and the black pellet turned into a very light black smoke, disappearing into the air. Lu Muyin habitually observed her opponent's every move, so she naturally didn't miss Ji Yu's movements. A ridicule rose on her lips. Wanted to ask for reinforcements? The kind of black pellet was used as a secret code. Once crushed, it couldn't be stopped, but Lu Muyin wasn't afraid of Ji Yu's helpers either. Ji Yu now, it's your fault for doing all this. Why fuss with a woman? A man should be open-minded. No wonder that although you're the crown prince, but you've been severely suppressed by 4th prince. Your bearing is indeed much inferior to Ji Xian's. Si Nan pretended to sigh, specifically attacking the other party's sore spot. Ji Yu's face was even more grim. What he hated most were those who compared him with Ji Xian. Sinan was truly too hateful. Luo Yi didn't walk over, but just leaned against a tree and looked over. If one watched closely, one could see that his clean, dark eyes actually had no focus. With the strength of the several people, he no longer needed to intervene. Sinan, are you really going to help that woman from Small Kingdom? Ji Yu asked with furrowed brows. Sinan's androgynous handsome face wore a charming smile. The little beauty has spoken, so how can I bear to refuse? You know that I show the most pity and tender care for Jade. Damned, shameless bastard. Luo Li rolled his eyes at Sinan, really wanting to punch that frivolous face. The corner of Lu Muyan's lips twitched. Even fights between women don't dawdle as much as you two. It's all Ji Yu who led us to talk. A narrow-minded man talks the most. Sinan decisively pulled Ji Yu out to take the blame. The anger in Ji Yu's chest was burning. He said so many words mainly to delay time and wait for the other 3 allied kingdoms to come and help, but who knew that it would be accidentally messed up by Lu Muyin. Stop being so talkative. You guys will be responsible for killing that woman who's unpleasant to look at and the others. Lu Muyin pointed in Mu Tong's direction. Then her eyes were filled with a strong fighting intent. Let me experience a little of GES combat power that's comparable to a sword sovereign. In her previous battle with the mountain-moving beast, she mainly used the opponent's weakness and found a shortcut, so it wasn't difficult to win that battle. Although GEU was at peak phase Sword Monarch cultivation base, but he had the qualifications to fight against a sword sovereign, so she definitely wanted to experience it somewhat, so as to also find her own shortcomings and inadequacies. Only by fighting against people whose cultivation base was stronger than her could she make progress. This was the principle she had always followed. One, basically, I gave you a chance, but you're not taking it. Chapter 236. Sudden change. Lu Muyan's fighting spirit was high, but Jiyu felt bitter in his heart. He didn't expect that killing a mere Lu Muyan and a group of people from a small kingdom would lead to a joint confrontation between Sinan, Luo Li, and Helian Lai. Sinan, have you really thought it through in going against our empire? Sinan closed his folding fan, and his handsome facial features were gorgeous. I will naturally cooperate with the Bowtie's request. It was just killing an elite team. He didn't care, even if the opponent was also from Superpower Kingdom. Sinan's androgynous face was exceedingly handsome, and he usually met people with a poisonous mouth and a slovenly attitude, but his temperament was actually capricious, and he didn't avoid killing. Shameless bastard, stop wasting time talking to him. Luo Li glared at Sinan, then waved his long sword and greeted Mu Tong. Sinan coughed dryly, then said to Helian Lai, "It'll take 4, you too. Why share, just gang fight?" Lu Muyin rolled her eyes at Sinan. "They've got so many people bullying my elder cousin brother. Can't you gang fight them?" The corners of Nan's eyes twitched. Lu Muyin's belly was also filled with Badwater One, but he liked it. What are you still standing there for? Gang fight. He turned his head and huffed at the rest of his elite team. To deal with GES lackeys, it was indeed wasting big talent on a petty job if he stepped forward. Helian Lai looked at Lu Muyin in amusement, then instructed the rest of his team, "You all go up too." The people in Luo Li's team were also eager to move. They had long been displeased with GU and his team. "Go!" Luo Li's voice sounded leisurely. No longer fighting alone. The few people were soon surrounded by several groups of people, and various sword lights of different colors flashed continuously as the surrounding trees fell one after another. "Luo Li, you really dare to try to kill me." Mu Tong covered her chest with a look of horror, blood stained all over her body. Luo Li sneered. "Do you, an ugly woman, think you're a celestial or something? This young master will kill if I want to, even if others are afraid of the Mu clan, but am not." With a ruthless look in Mu Tong's eyes, she mobilized her elemental energy and began to cast a secret skill. Mu Ning looked at the secret skill she was using with a chill at her eyes. This was originally a method that the Mu clan only passed on to the main sons and main daughters, but that good father of hers had never mentioned it to her, who knew that he already passed it on to Mu Tong. The desolation in her heart had long been replaced by disappointment time and again, and now she had no other feelings other than hatred. Mu Tong used the secret skill, but Luo Li wasn't a vegetarian too either. The two quickly battled together. Lu Muyin stood in the sky with her golden longsword beneath her feet, formed a few Taoist seals with her hands. Then with a wave of her palm, a lifelike fire dragon created from elemental energy loomed over Ji's head. Jiyu snorted coldly, and the dark golden scimitars in both hands were tossed out together. Two powerful light shadows slashed towards the fire dragon in the air. The fire dragon roared, and its 4 sharp claws met the 2 light shadows. The space shook a few times. Then, after the fire dragon met the light shadows, it lit up with a dazzling and brilliant light. After the forces canceled each other out, The light shadows were shattered by the giant claws of the fire dragon and disappeared into the light. The fire dragon also gradually grew transparent due to the force. You sure have a lot of unconventional means. Ji looked at Lu Mu Yin with an ugly expression. He had used 9/10 of his power just now. Yet who knew that it was scattered by the fire dragon condensed by Lu Mu Yin? Lu Mu Yin raised an eyebrow. Then he'll let you see this young Miss Sword skills. With a thought, the golden longsword beneath her feet instantly turned into 10 flying swords, all of which rose into the sky. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, quick. With a light shout, the 10 small swords swirled and flew downwards, enclosing Jiyu in a circle. Sword array. Ji's expression changed, and cautiously held the scimitars while channeling elemental energy into them. Arcs formed by metal elemental energy, sword auras erupted from the scimitar with an imposing manner. Take this. At this time, even Jiyu had to admit that Lu Mu Yan's array attainments were indeed powerful. Not only could she use fire elemental energy to create a besieging array, but now she even brought in a sword array within her sword intent. This woman must be rid of. There were more than 100 golden arcs, and they each carried an aura of pressure from a peak phase sword monarch. As soon as they exploded outwards, they wanted to destroy the flying swords that besieged him. Lu Mu Yan's lips curled up, rise. The 10 golden flying swords instantly spun around, and hurricanes whirled from the sword array, swallowing the 100 arcs within it. Clang, clang. Sounds like war on a battlefield resounded. Many sword aura arcs were destroyed by the hurricane, while a small portion overflowed and attacked the flying swords violently. The 10 flying swords retreated a distance of 100 meters away under the influence of the sword aura arcs, but their own sword light didn't dim at all as it continued to rotate, and a hurricane formed again. Ji's eyes revealed ruthlessness, and the scimitars in his hands flew out, suddenly landing above Lu Mu Yan's head, growing larger with a killing aura. Cut! He poured the elemental energy of his entire body into the scimitars and said viciously. The scimitars instantly shone brightly and made a few humming sounds. Its power at this moment had already exceeded the strength of a sword monarch. A portion of Lu Mu Yan's spiritual energy was suppressed by the mighty energy. This was precisely caused by the gap in cultivation base. But there was no fear in her eyes. Instead, she smiled and said, "Excellent." She pinched a few seals with her hands. Then the 10 flying swords seemed to have come to their senses and also let out some hums. The hurricane that was formed suddenly intensified, annihilating the remaining sword aura arcs. The flying swords didn't remain, and like rows of fish playing in water, they flew with liveliness above Lu Mu Yan's head, instantly merging into a giant golden sword. Under the function of the sword array, countless sword aura light shadows flickered around the giant sword. Although the pressure it exuded was inferior to the enlarged scimitars, but its momentum wasn't weak at all. GS Saint Tool was made of high-grade metal attribute materials, and if brought out, could be coveted by many, but Lu Mu Yan's natal magic tool was not only made from several rare metal attribute materials obtained from the Ming Chamber of Commerce Alliance, but she also added the Earth-rank spiritual item, the Heavenly Frost Golden Crystal. Therefore, even if her cultivation base and pressure was inferior to GS scimitars, but her sword was superior to his scimitars by numerous folds, which perfectly made up for her shortcomings. Jiyu was a favored child of heaven to begin with, so his visions naturally weren't short-sighted. Seeing that Lu Mu Yan's flying swords could actually achieve unity of heart and mind with her, and most importantly, was that it was even able to compete with his Saint Tool he was proud of, this golden longsword definitely was extraordinary. A touch of greed flashed across his eyes, but a voice suddenly sounded in his mind, and his eyes revealed surprise. The suddenly enlarged scimitars slashed down heavily, while the golden giant soared humming happily, as if excited by seeing some delicious food. Lu Mu Yan's expression revealed slight strangeness. The natal magic tool that was connected to her mind actually passed onto her a desire to devour the dark golden scimitars. Did she raise this to give birth to a tool spirit so fast? But that wasn't quite right either. The purple-gold spirit flame within her dantian leapt around, with the humming of the giant's sword, as if it had been stimulated with excitement, wanting to leap out. This kind of sudden change even caught her off guard. Lu Mu Yin hurriedly mobilized the green fog at her dantian to suppress and conceal it. Then her mind became clear, and she had a guess in her heart. One, have a belly filled with bad water means that she's filled with wicked ideas. Two, being a vegetarian means being weak in this case. So it's saying here that Luo Li wasn't weak either. Chapter 237. Talisman Master GS suddenly enlarged scimitars slashed down heavily after he channeled elemental energy into it, attempting to slice apart the golden giant sword above Lu Muyan's head and, while it was at it, also take her head. Seeing the scimitars slashing down with boundless power, as if it could defeat Lu Muyan as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood, Luo Li and the others all stared at Lu Muyan's figure with nervousness, for fear that something would happen to her. But right now, even if any one of them wanted to intervene, it would be too late. Lu Muyan's eyes were like chilling stars. She narrowed her eyes dangerously. This GU actually wanted to behead her. It made an unprecedented killing intent rise within her. Break! She no longer suppressed the purple-gold spirit flame in her body and allowed it to dance in her dantian. A sliver of a natal fire origin overflowed from her meridians and merged with the spiritual energy, channeling it into her natal magic tool. The golden giant sword that guarded above her head hummed cheerfully under the support of the purple-gold spirit flame, and turned into a soft sword, wrapping around the huge scimitars that had swung down. Clang! There was only a slight noise when the two touched. Just when everyone thought that Lu Muyin might be hurt by the sword aura of the scimitars, they saw her golden giant sword softly wrap around the scimitars, preventing it from moving half a step, and they all showed a frightened expression. Just what sort of saint tool did Lu Muyin own? It could even change shape freely? GS eyes revealed a bit of horror. He found that the connection between himself and the scimitar saint tools was actually slowly weakening, and the power of the scimitar saint tools were also fading. Just what was happening? Lu Muyin looked at the extremely soft and flexible soft sword in surprise and couldn't resist holding her forehead. Was this still a sword? Why was it so much like a rope? Because the natal magic tool was connected to her mind, so she could deeply feel its excitement and hunger at this time. Those dark golden scimitars were precisely the food it wanted to forcibly obtain. With the help of that wisp of purple-gold spirit flame, the heat of the golden sword continued to rise, gradually blending with the scimitars. What? How could this be? My saint tool. The connection between the scimitars and Yu had completely cut off, and his mouth was wide open, while his expression was filled with incredulity. Lu Muyin blinked. The heavenly frost golden essence used to refine her natal magic tool was a divine rank spiritual item born alongside the purple gold spirit flame to begin with. Seeing Yu take out the wind riding talisman just now, she felt a familiar aura. It shouldn't be too different from the talismans she knew of. Sinan pierced the enemy's heart directly with his golden foil folding fan. Then the fan returned to his hand without a drop of blood. The wind-riding talisman can be regarded as a middle-grade talisman. It can improve the sword master's speed by 10 to 30 times. Yu used it to escape. Lu Muyin lowered her head and pondered. It could increase the user's speed by 10 to 30 times. It seemed to be even more powerful than the divine movement talisman of the spiritual world. It seemed that not everything on this continent was inferior to the immortal cultivation world. There were still many things she needed to learn and understand. Don't worry, G's younger brother, Ji Xian, would rather him die and won't help him. What's more, we've killed all his men now, so he won't be able to achieve anything in the future. Seeing her lower her head in thought, Sinan guessed that she was afraid that after Ji ran away, he would become a serious concern in the future, so he spoke out to reassure her. Lu Muyin raised her head and chuckled. I'm just thinking about the wind-riding talisman. No one can say for certain whether you can achieve anything or not in the future. It's useless to think too much now that the person's run away. Is ruthless and decisive in doing things. This time, by letting him escape, it had indeed left future trouble. But Lu Mu Yin didn't think too much about it. When the boat reached the bridge, it would naturally pass underneath without much trouble too. She just thought that the next time she met Yu, she must not let him run away. The wind-riding talisman is rarely found in the outside world. Ji's maternal clan has a guest grade 3 talisman master, so that talisman must have been given to him by his maternal grandfather. Sinan paused, then said, "The requirements for becoming a talisman master are very harsh. Only a smith that had comprehended the fire element, metal element, and earth element can refine them, so talismans are a very rare thing. Then isn't a talisman master very popular and makes a lot of money?" Lu Mu Yan's eyes were filled with bright light. The corner of Nan's lips twitched. A mysterious and unfathomable talisman master seemed to have just become a tool for making money coming from Lu Mu Yan's mouth. If there were pedantic and inflexible people here that stubbornly sucked to outworn rules and ideas, they would definitely curse her for being a disgrace to the cultured. Actually, these special occupations aren't something one can become just by having talent. Although many people compete for the things that they refine, and they practically have no shortage of money, but the initial investment cost is also huge. Without some capital for consumption to advance in grade, one could only waste their talent. Sinan said a little more indirectly. Lu Mu Yan nodded. It was indeed far too difficult to advance in grade without a strong family background or without their own fortuitous opportunities. For example, a talisman master, just the blood essence of various demonic beasts and various beast skins as main materials in the early stages already cost a lot of money. Her eyes shone brightly. After she went to a sect, she could study the talisman skills of this continent a bit. Although she wasn't very interested in smithing, but because talismans were related to arrays, so she was rather thorough in her research of talismans. Time to go back and correct each time I use the word talisman into something different. Maybe into rune. I think all along, the author has been using the word rune. Oh, the difficulties of grasping the nuances in another language when he used practically the exact same characters. Anyways, the talismans mentioned here are those rectangular pieces of paper that you might have seen before with unique characters and symbols drawn on them. Apologies if you do see some discrepancies for a while, since I might not get to correcting some terminology from previous chapters for a bit. Two things will work itself out eventually. Luo Li, you can't kill me. If you kill me, our Mu clan will never let you go. At this time, Mu Tong was in a complete sorry state. Her clothes were completely stained with blood, and her hair had become loose and messy. Seeing Yu abandon her, she felt a chill in her heart and looked at Luo Li in horror. TSK, our Luo clan will be afraid of your Mu clan? Luo Li pursed his lips in disdain. Seeing Yu escape, the group of elites, aside from Mu Tong, were all dead from being ganged up on. He turned to look at Lu Mu Yin and aside. How should we handle her? Lu Mu Yin glanced at Mu Tong casually. She didn't want to dirty her own hands, but inadvertently saw the killing intent in Mu Ning's eyes. She walked over and said with a smile on her face, "I'll give her to you to deal with." Mu Ning didn't expect Lu Mu Yin to say such a thing to her and asked in surprise, "Why?" "Because you might be my future elder cousin, sister-in-law." Lu Mu Yin blinked with a straightforward, mischievous smile. A red glow instantly surfaced on Mu Ning's cold and pale face, and she secretly glanced at the handsome man with an elegant, refined smile in her peripheral vision. Her heart beat faster. She and Ling Fei Yong knew each other when they were very young, and he had rescued her when she was 9 years old and accompanied her through the most difficult days. The two had feelings for each other, but unfortunately, both had a betrothed, so they could only curb their feelings for each other and thought that they would never meet again. Now that her betrothed was snatched by Mu Tong and they annulled the engagement, and Ling Fei Yang's engagement was also annulled even after rescuing that woman named Shui Ling due to being bound by the engagement, almost ruining his entire life. Then when they met again, she didn't expect that she still had the same beating heart for him as before, so she didn't resist getting together with Ling Fei Yang. It was just that she had always been worried that she wasn't worthy of him now. So after suddenly hearing his younger cousin sister say that, she didn't know what to do. Ling Fei Yang had always known that this younger cousin sister of his was perceptive, but he didn't expect that she could even see the feelings between he and Mu Ning. He gently clasped Mu Ning's hand to reassure her. She framed you everywhere, and her mother also killed your mother. It is most suitable for you to deal with her. After he finished speaking, he cast a grateful look at Lu Muyan. This younger cousin sister's actions were more and more heartwarming. Thank you. When Mu Ning raised her eyes, her face had recovered to its usual coldness, but her expression when looking at Lu Muyan was a little softer. Lu Muyan knew that her personality was cold and should be related to the method she cultivated, so she smiled and said, "You're welcome." Mu Ning nodded and walked towards Mu Tong. Elder sister, do you really want to kill your own younger sister? If father knew your thoughts, he would be very disappointed. Mu Tong was relieved when she saw Lu Muyan handing over her life and death to Mu Ning. With a thought, a tinge of pain rose on her face. A mournful look flashed in Mu Ning's eyes, but her emotions calmed when she closed her eyes, then opened them. So what if he knew? He's not worthy of being my father at all. After the death of her mother, she always thought that her father didn't know the truth, didn't know the evil deeds of Mu Tong's mother and Mu Tong, and tried hard to obtain his approval. But after many assassinations and disappointments, she gradually discovered that he didn't like her at all. On the first day of coming to the competition space, she inadvertently learnt that her mother's death was his connivance, and the final trace of family affection was completely wiped away. From then on, she knew that she would no longer have relatives, only enemies. Elder sister, we're blood-related sisters. You can't kill. Mu Tong's pupil shrank and looked down at the long sword that passed through her chest in disbelief. This bitch actually really wanted to kill her. The words she wanted to say were only half said. Mu Ning's eyes were cold. I won't let the tiger return to the mountain again. After speaking, she didn't give Mu Tong a chance to speak again. She hated this younger sister no less than she did her. She forcefully pulled out the long sword that penetrated her heart, took out a silk cloth and wiped the blood on it, then tossed the silk handkerchief away. Mu Tong's body gradually fell weakly, her eyes bulging, as if she had never truly known this elder sister who had been bullied so badly by her. But, unfortunately for her, it was all too late. Lu Muyan expressed appreciation for Mu Ning's decisiveness. If someone like Mu Tong wasn't killed, then it would definitely be troublesome in the future. Yin or Mubai. Ling Fei Yang was very happy to see his younger cousins in the competition space. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, elder cousin brother. How are you all trapped here? Lu Muyan asked with a smile. Ling Fei Yang sighed and said, we were snatched of our demonic beasts when we were hunting in a remote mountain a few days ago by these people. There was a little conflict at the time, but didn't involve life or death. Today, we happened to be hunting a Tier 6 demonic beast and met them. When Mu Tong saw Mu Ning with us, killing intent rose in her. Mu Ning's expression was also apologetic with lingering fears. If Ling Fei Yang's younger cousin sister didn't arrive, then she would have harmed them all. She was grateful to Lu Muyan from the bottom of her heart and remembered this kindness in her heart. Lu Muyan didn't know that Mu Ning would bring a huge, fortuitous opportunity in the future because of today's actions. At this time, she only felt that it was very pleasing to look at this elder cousin sister-in-law. Muyan, it looks like we owe you another personal favor. Yi Qinghan's internal injury had healed a lot after taking Lu Muyan's pills, and he walked to her side, looking at her with soft eyes. Lu Muyan chuckled lightly. Must Qinghan and I seem as if we're outsiders? Yi Qinghan was her first sincere friend on this different world and occupied an important position in her heart. They will be best friends forever. Of course I want to treat you like an outsider. Yi Qinghan's face was filled with smiles, and ripples rose in his heart. Luo Li and Xin glanced at each other, and they both understood each other's thoughts. This man named Yi Qing Han seemed to hold a lot of weight in Lu Muyan's heart, but it was also precisely because of this they both disliked him. Muyan, let's find a place to rest. Night is arriving soon. Luo Li stepped forward to block Yi Qing Han's sight, and his handsome face was filled with a sunny smile. Yi Qing Han furrowed his brows slightly. He found that this young man with a full head of red hair and a handsome and flamboyant appearance had a sense of hostility towards him. Lu Muyan nodded and said to Yi Qing Han and the others, "Qing Han, elder cousin brother, let's all travel together." "Sure," the two answered in unison. They had been inquiring about news of Lu Muyan recently to begin with, so now that they had finally met, they naturally wanted to compete together and take care of each other. Luo Li's face seemed to darken, but in front of Lu Muyan, he wouldn't show any hostility towards Yi Qing Han at all. He gave Xin a look as if saying, "Shameless bastard, you go deal with them." Xin rolled his eyes at him. This kid could also be wicked and order people around now. As if he would be a fool to target that handsome man and anger Lu Muyan. "If you dare, go do it yourself." He tossed Luo Li a provocative look to convey what he wanted to express. Then he leaned in front of Lu Muyan and said with a smile, "I know a cave down there. Let's go there to rest and wait to depart in the evening." Mu Yi and Shifeng's injuries also recover a lot. Together, they and Ling Fei Yang lifted their comatose companions who were lying on the ground and walked down the mountain with Lu Muyan. "Shameless bastard, how about we join forces to get that unsightly man away?" Luo Li telepathically said. Xin was also very bitter about Lu Muyan's intimate attitude towards Yi Qing Han. That woman had never given him any good looks. All right, let's work together. They just wanted to chase Yi Qing Han away and didn't want to hurt him. Otherwise, Lu Muyan would definitely skin them. Yi Qing Han's deep eyes narrowed slightly. These two men were love rivals. Random note. Welp, Ming Xiaoa, LMY's collecting way too many men now. Also hurry up and be in an open relationship already, sob. Chapter 239. Using his body to nourish poison, the group came to the cave that Xin spoke of, and the environment was indeed quiet. Lu Muyan walked over to the two people who were still in a coma and took their pulses. Then she pierced them with a few golden needles, and only then did the pained expressions on the two gradually ease, and their complexions became rosy. "Lu Muyan, you know how to heal people too?" Luo Li looked at Lu Muyan in surprise. He had only heard that she could refine pills, but he had never seen it before. Now that he saw her being able to use a few needles to restore the spirit of the two sluggish sword masters, he couldn't resist having a thought. Lu Muyan took back the golden needles. "Yeah. Then can you cure eye diseases?" Luo Li asked impatiently. There was always a voice in his heart that told him to believe Lu Muyan. Hearing Luo Li's words, Luo Yes' body froze. Only Lu Muyan noticed this movement. "It depends on what kind of eye disease it is. The one you're asking about isn't easy to cure." Lu Muyan replied, without concealing after pondering for a bit. Luo Li's eyes revealed shock. You know what I'm asking about?" Luo Yes' relaxed body froze again. Could it be that Lu Muyan discovered his secret? He suffers from an acquired eye disease due to his skill. It can be cured, but now isn't the time. Lu Muyan was always observing Luo Yes' blindness. Although she didn't take his pulse, but she already knew the answer inwardly. Luo Li grabbed Lu Muyan's arm and asked nervously, "Why isn't it time?" "Because to treat this kind of eye disease, you need to concoct a type of eye drop for treatment, and I don't have the spiritual herbs to concoct it." Lu Muyan shrugged. "What kind of spiritual herbs do you need?" Luo Li asked, pressing his lips together. Lu Muyan raised her eyes and looked at Luo Yi. She found that his emotions weren't as calm as he appeared. She thought for a while, then said, "I'll give you a list later." "Sure." Luo Li seemed to be relieved, then asked cautiously, "How did you know? Do you believe me if I say I'm a divine doctor?" Lu Muyan chuckled and raised an eyebrow. Seeing her smile like a flower, Luo Li's heart thumped. Believe. Although Lu Muyan was a cunning and black-bellied woman, but she wouldn't joke around with such serious things. It seemed that she indeed saw through eldest brother's illness herself. He couldn't resist looking forward to it inwardly. If Lu Muyin really was a divine doctor, then did that mean eldest brother's blindness could be cured? What sign language are you using? Who has an eye disease? Sinan had never seen Luo Li lose his composure like this, and after hearing these two talk, he was mostly confused, so he leaned over to ask. Luo Li pushed him away in disgust. Shameless bastard. What does it matter to you? However, he also stopped discussing with Lu Muyin. Since she knew about elder brother's situation, then he would ask her when there was no one else. Fisk, I'm just asking, forget it. He rolled his eyes at Luo Li, then walked to Lu Muyin's side and sat down. He looked at her with his androgynous face and asked with a smile, Little beauty, since you're a divine doctor, how about taking a look at me? Lu Muyin looked at him without understanding, then smiled lightly and reached out to check his pulse. Originally, she was just checking casually, but then her face grew more solemn. How is it? Sinan actually knew about his own situation, but he didn't really expect Lu Muyin to know. Lu Muyin retrieved her hand and wiped it with a handkerchief, causing Sinan's lips to twitch. He took a bath every day, all right. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, congratulations to you for having a body filled with blood that's invulnerable to hundreds of poisons. Lu Muyin said congratulations on the surface, but her voice didn't really sound congratulatory. Sinan's eyes widened. You can even figure this out? Shameless bastard. Lu Muyin already said she was a divine doctor. Luo Li believed every word that Lu Muyin said from the bottom of his heart. I didn't expect the little beauty to really be a divine doctor. Sinan laughed dryly and asked, Can my blood cure poisons? It depends on what kind of poison. Lu Muyin replied, What if it's the water illusion nether dream? Sinan's eyes revealed a hint of caution, then asked after a while. The expression on Lu Muyin's face changed. In order to cure the water illusion nether dream, you raised yourself into a poisonous person? Can it really cure it? Sinan's expression was a little grave and excited. It's hard to say. Lu Muyin paused, then continued. It depends on how many years the person has been poisoned, as well as their physique. If the poison time is too long, the poisonous blood in your body might be a little uncertain. 10 years. Sinan's eyes flashed with pain. After Lu Muyin interacted with Sinan these days, this was the first time that she found that this man with a poisonous tongue and a frivolous personality could show this kind of emotion. If the body was originally a strong man, then 10 years should be fine. But if it were a woman who was poisoned 10 years ago, then even if your blood is completely mature after a period of time, it will still be difficult to cure. At least it will be life-threatening. Lu Muyin just felt that the person Sinan was talking about should be a woman who was very important to him, so she didn't conceal it. Sinan clenched his hands tightly, and the blue veins on the back of his hands popped. Then is there a way to reduce the danger? The specific situation can't be told until I see the patient. Lu Muyin said with a serious expression. Those that are poisoned with the water illusion nether dream usually fall into a deep sleep. If they're poisoned for more than 10 years, then the vitality in their body will also be lost in the 10 years. Using the poisonous blood in you that has become perfected can cure it, but it could also infect them with other poisons. Hearing Lu Muyin's sincere words, the last doubt in Sinan's heart also dissipated, as if grabbing onto a life-saving straw. If you see the patient, can you cure it? If they haven't died, then I have 9/10 of certainty to cure it. Lu Muyin still had this confidence. Sinan's eyes lit up, scorching. How about you go to Rian Kingdom after the competition? As long as you can save her, no matter what conditions you want, I will promise it all. Can I ask who she is to you? Lu Muyin just thought that Sinan should have been a cold and distant person, but seeing that he was even willing to use his body to nourish poison to cure another, she couldn't help but be slightly moved. She's my imperial concubine mother. Sinan's voice was a little hoarse, and he lacked his usual slovenly and frivolous attitude. Lu Muyin was startled. Seeing that Sinan's expressions and emotions didn't seem to be fake, It was as if she had a newfound understanding of him, and she was impressed. This man's slovenly attitude was probably also just a cover to conceal his true nature. All right, if you're still alive after the competition, they'll go with you. Lu Muyin nodded. Although Rian Kingdom was in the northern region, but it wasn't too far from Yinzhou Kingdom. Xian was a member of the imperial family. If she helped him, she may get involved in a lot of trouble, but helping him was definitely also beneficial to the Liu clan. And the rarest thing to come by was the pure and innocent heart of a newborn one. No matter how capricious Xian was, but using his own body to nourish poison, disregarding his life just to cure his mother, this filial piety deserved her respect. Although she, Lu Muyin, wasn't some good person, but back in a mortal world when she learnt medical skills from the divine doctor, she also learnt the benevolence of doctors. Xian raised an eyebrow. What do you mean by as long as I'm still alive, you'll accompany me? Was this woman cursing him to death? Shouldn't the person who should be most worried about whether they could live or die be herself? One an idiom meaning that Nan has a sincere heart with wholehearted devotion, like newborn babies who have not yet been tainted. Something like that. Chapter 240, Preliminary Round Countdown. What do you mean by as long as I'm still alive? You'll accompany me. Lu Muyin glanced at Xian. It literally means what it means. Cough, cough. Xian coughed dryly, then winked. Am I that weak? Who knows? Lu Muyin said lightly. Xian looked up at the sky, speechlessly. He was obviously very strong, all right? He just didn't show it. If he battled with Luo Yi, it wouldn't be certain who'd win or lose. Qing Han, you all quickly recover. We're going to kill beasts in beast hides to earn points tonight. Lu Muyin took out another bottle of elemental recovery pills and tossed it to him. All right. Yi Qing Han took the pills, then distributed the pills in the porcelain bottle to the others calmly. A strong aroma filled the air. Muyin, you can already refine grade 3 pills? I'm about right. Lu Muyin leaned against the wall lazily. Your talent really is heaven-defying. Yi Qing Han smiled bitterly. He was thrown farther and farther away from her. Lu Muyin turned her head and smiled. There are many grade 3 alchemists. It's nothing strange. Her goal wasn't just a grade 3 alchemist. Her goal was to become a grade 10 alchemist that was at the peak of this world. The others had varying expressions when they heard the conversation between the two. They couldn't resist twitching the corners of their lips. There were indeed more grade 3 alchemists than other high-grade alchemists, but no one had heard of a grade 3 alchemist who was less than 18 years old. Her indifferent tone truly made people speechless. Xian and Helian Lai were the most shocked. This elemental recovery pill was refined by Lu Muyin herself? Didn't she tell Elder Xiao that her master refined it? So it seemed she had lied. Lu Muyin, you refined the elemental recovery pills yourself? Luo Li couldn't resist asking. Lu Muyin raised an eyebrow and smiled. Take a guess. She felt that a grade 3 alchemist really wasn't something to show off about. This little cat was probably about to explode again. Luo Li glared at her. Boring. Then he turned his head away. Huh. Lu Muyin felt very pleased when she saw that he indeed exploded. Luo Li's face was a little hot. This woman really was hateful. But why did he like her more and more? Yi Qing Han saw Lu Muyin's face blossom with a beautiful smile, and his deep eyes darkened. Xian glared at Luo Li. He said he was shameless, but Luo Li was also a shameless person. When night fell, a crescent moon hung in the sky, bright and clear. Lu Muyin sat on a big rock outside the cave, and the moonlight poured down, making her entire person appear lonely and ethereal. Luo Yi jumped onto the boulder and sat beside her with a handsome figure. Are you here to ask about your eye disease? Lu Muyin turned her head and met Luo Yi's clean and bright eyes. She sighed inwardly that it truly would be a waste to keep these beautiful eyes blind. There was a faint smile on Luo Yi's lips, and under the bright and clear moonlight, he looked even more handsome. His voice that was as clear as spring water poured out slowly. When did you find out? The first time we met. Lu Muyin replied. Luo Yi was a little taken aback. Your medical skills are indeed brilliant. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks. I haven't even checked your pulse for you yet. So how do you know that I'm skilled in medicine? Lu Muyan's tone carried with it a slight tease. I indeed became blind due to my cultivation method. Countless physicians and alchemists have come to treat it, but no one has noticed that I have an eye disease. Luo Yi's voice was gentle and serene, with a stirring charm. Can I take your pulse? Lu Muyan asked. Luo Yi raised a hand and placed it in front of Lu Muyan. Do as you please. Lu Muyan chuckled, then reached out to touch that pair of slender and fair wrists. After a while, she said, Did you receive an external inheritance one? Luo Yi was taken aback and asked in surprise, How did you know? There's a vague energy in your sea of consciousness inside you, but I found that it didn't belong to you. I feel that if it's not the mental energy of an external powerhouse, then it's a mass of soul energy that's about to dissipate. Lu Muyan explained. Luo Yi pondered for a bit, then said slowly, I accidentally broke into a tomb when I was 10 years old. By chance, I inherited a divine word skill method. Then a soul forcibly entered into my sea of consciousness. Due to the fact that I was still young at the time, and my cultivation base wasn't high, I could only barely resist him seizing control of my body. That soul was a sword sovereign powerhouse before his death. He has always wanted to devour my soul and control my body. But unfortunately, I possess a special constitution of the Luo clan, so not only did he fail, but his soul energy has been absorbed by me a lot over the years. Then I started cultivating the divine word skill, but my eyes gradually seemed to be covered with a layer of fog. And finally, I became completely blind. Luo Yi sighed. After I refined his soul energy, it was only by using his memory that I knew this was the disadvantage of cultivating the divine word skill. Divine word skill? Is that what you call the ability to calculate and predict? There was no divine word skill in the immortal cultivation world. However, people who comprehended the great path could predict the future. So, she was just saying her guesses. Luo Yi nodded. But because of the blindness caused by the inherited method, I've rarely cultivated it since. Therefore, his divine word skills prediction method only remained at initial phase. Those who had already seen the light hated such boundless darkness. So that's how it is. Lu Muyan muttered to herself. Can you really cure my blindness? Luo Yi didn't know why, but there was just a feeling in his heart that Lu Muyan could really restore light for him. I said I can, so naturally I can. But to cure your blindness, I still need to find several kinds of spiritual herbs and spiritual items to concoct a kind of eye-washing and eye-brightening drops. Lu Muyan knew that although Luo Yi could use his mental energy to perceive everything in the outside world and live like a normal person, but he yearned to see this colorful world again. This is the list of spiritual herbs that I need to refine it. If you know them, then I'll help you refine it. Then she handed over a prepared jade slip. Before refining the eye drops, you must completely refine that soul in your sea of consciousness. Luo Li took the jade slip and didn't immediately probe into it with his mental energy, much gratitude. Regardless of whether she could really cure his blindness or not, he would still thank Lu Muyan. Lu Muyan smiled, stood up, and patted the dust off her dress. Let's go, it's almost time. All right. The figure of the two talking on the boulder was seen by Yi Qing Han, who walked out of the cave. His eyes were as deep as the sea, but he didn't walk up to interrupt. Night was a time when demonic beasts frequently roamed about. Under the guidance of Mo Yin, Lu Muyan led Luo Li and the several other groups to besiege 3 waves of medium-sized beast tides. In pursuit of speed, when meeting the 2 Tier 7 demonic beasts, Lu Muyan didn't intervene, and they were both resolved by Luo Yi and Sinan. After a few more days of night hunting, Lu Muyan's score lived up to expectations, and she advanced to the 9th place, shocking numerous elite teams from large kingdoms. Yi Qing Han and the others' points were also soaring vigorously, and all 5 of their team members rushed into the top 100 of the standings. When there was precisely only 10 days left of the preliminary round, A soft bell sounded in all the refuge cities, as if it had come from the distant horizon. The preliminary round countdown had finally arrived. 1. This inheritance is more to do with inheriting power, not something physical like money, etc. Chapter 241 came with evil intent when the distant and gentle bell rang. Lu Mu Yin was drinking wine and chatting with the other people in the courtyard of an inn in the city. The preliminary round countdown has begun. Luo Li's eyes were filled with excitement. Lu Mu Yin shook the white jade wine glass in her hand, and the red liquid inside was crystal clear. From today onwards, the targets we need to guard against have increased to the elite teams of other kingdoms too. Shouldn't you say that we can finally snatch their jade tablets? Sinan's fair, handsome face flushed red after drinking, making him look even more gorgeous. Lu Mu Yin couldn't resist sighing that Nin was truly quite attractive just by looking at his appearance. Helian Lai drank the spiritual wine in his cup. We should have kept Mu Tong and the others and kill them now, so that we can get a few more purple jade tablets. Before the countdown bell of the competition space rang, the identity jade tablets of all dead sword masters would shatter and dissipate, so the jade tablets of Mu Tong and the others disappeared a few days ago already. You are the typical giving advice in hindsight. Sinan glanced at him. When are we going to the central city? Yi Qinghan asked, looking up at Lu Mu Yin. Lu Mu Yin leaned on her chin with one hand, and she shook the wine glass with the other. We'll rush over tonight and go directly to the central city tomorrow. At this time, this team of 5 groups revealed a faint trend of being led by Lu Mu Yin, and basically no one objected to her decision. Sinan, I heard that you've always been well informed. Lu Mu Yin asked lazily, seeing her half-squinted eyes, lazily leaning her body on the stone table with an indescribable demeanor. Sinan's eyes rolled in thought, then smiled frivolously. Little beauty really understands me. Lu Mu Yin rolled her eyes at him. I'll leave it to you to inquire about the purple, orange, and cyan jade tablets. If you see whichever teams are ruthless and cruel, well, attack those teams. The second round of the competition was mainly to snatch identity jade tablets. They needed 10 purple jade tablets, 30 orange jade tablets, 50 cyan jade tablets, and at least 100 jade tablets of other colors in order to continue to advance. During the preliminary round countdown, the competition for jade tablets was allowed, so there definitely would be a lot of gang fights everywhere during these 10 days. No problem, leave that to me. Sinan tossed a charming look at Lu Mu Yin. Lu Mu Yin shuddered, filled with goosebumps, and said coldly, frivolous. Sinan choked. Lu Mu Yin really wasn't a normal woman. If in the past he had shown such a devilishly charming smile to the talented female sword masters of those distinguished clans in the imperial capital, it would definitely cause a group of women to go crazy. But it was precisely because of her uniqueness that he was interested in her, wasn't it? Luo Li and Helian Lai couldn't resist casting a contemptuous look at Sinan. Serves you right. Yi Qinghan's beautiful thin lips rose in a slight arc. Lu Mu Yin didn't like men like Sinan. When it got dark, Lu Mu Yin and their party left the inn and rushed towards the central city. As soon as they left the city, more than a dozen elite teams immediately followed them. Lu Mu Yin and the others turned a blind eye. These days, they've been followed by elite teams from other kingdoms each time they went out to hunt at night, and the number of teams only continued to increase. After learning that Lu Mu Yin could use arrays to deal with medium-sized beast tides, many people had the same thought. Plus the fact that as long as they paid 2/3 of the demonic beast crystal cores they killed, they could kill demonic beasts in the fire array to earn points. So everyone followed them unanimously. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, Lu Mu Yin didn't object either. Her own demonic beasts were very picky, and now only 8 tier 6 demonic beast crystal cores, even more prodigal than her. So it seemed like she would always lack crystal cores. Besides, if her team continued to eat alone, it would inevitably lead to joint counterattacks by numerous elite teams from large kingdoms. If they left some soup for them to drink, then, putting aside alliances, at least they wouldn't join the army to go against them. Tonight was a little different from the past, however. Sword masters from different teams were on guard against each other, fearing that someone would suddenly jump out and contend for jade tablets. Fortunately, Lu Muyin had given them a heads up in advance. Anyone who wanted to hunt with them at night to earn points must abide by the rules, and they were not allowed to kill each other, which put an end to the little ideas of many people. That night, under the guidance of Mo Yin, they wiped out 5 waves of beast tides again and arrived at the central city at dawn the next day. The central city was grandeur and majestic, and one could feel a solemn and ancient atmosphere from even a distance. The city could accommodate at least 10,000 people, and the streets were bustling. There were a few more inns in the central city than in other refuge cities. They still went into the largest one, where there were courtyards reserved for the superpower elite teams. No matter where, there would always be special treatment, and only the strong could become the party that enjoyed it. Lu Muyin, are we still going out to hunt tonight? Luo Li asked Lu Muyin right before they were about to return to their rooms. The others also turned their attention to her to see what she decided. We won't go tonight. Let's properly restore our combat power and go group battling tomorrow. Lu Muyin left that sentence and entered her room. The others looked at each other. Was there really going to be a group battle tomorrow? How exciting, no? The 5 teams, having interacted with Lu Muyin for a long time, had all been infected by her temperament, and they all had a tendency to enjoy the thrill, so they were very enthusiastic about the competition of jade tablets that would soon arrive. Did you feel the resentful gaze that was hiding across the street from us? After entering the room, Mo Yin jumped from Lu Muyin's shoulders onto the bed and stretched lazily. Lu Muyin looked at the originally prudent and noble Missouri Yan's casual and lazy demeanor right now, and couldn't resist smiling. How could I not have felt such a deep resentment? Why don't we snatch their jade tablets tomorrow? Mo Yin found a soft position and laid there as he suggested. Lu Muyin looked at him without a good attitude. That'll be too easy on her. I told her let her experience the taste of rising to the clouds, then falling down. Before they checked into the inn just now, there was an obscure, malicious look cast onto them from an alley with killing intent. Even if Lu Muyin's mental energy hadn't recovered yet, but she didn't even need to look to know it was Schwellinger. Before, she humiliated Schwellinger and didn't kill her, not because she didn't dare to do it or couldn't do it, but it was purely to destroy her both physically and mentally in the future. Otherwise, it would be too boring to toy her to death so easily. Mo Yin raised his head, and there was brilliance flowing in his star-like eyes. Whoever offended this woman, whoever would be unlucky. Bingji trembled at the smile on Lu Muyin's lips. As long as owner smiled like that, then someone would definitely be out of luck. The human-eating bloodthorn vine, King, shrunk his main branch, secretly thankful that he had abandoned the dark and turned to the light early at the time. Otherwise, who knows how he would have been cleaned up by little owner. Only Meow Meow kept rubbing against Lu Muyin's wrist intimately, indicating that everything owner did was right. Lu Muyin naturally noticed the gazes of his several spirit pets. She let out a laugh and shook her head, but she was very happy inwardly. That night, they didn't act, and Lu Muyin called everyone out of the city early the next morning. Everyone was basically satisfied with their own points rankings. It was fine as long as they could keep their good ranking. The more important thing at present was to compete for jade tablets. When they walked to a remote mountain in the distance to prepare to hunt and earn points while looking for sword masters from other kingdoms to snatch some jade tablets, they were suddenly blocked by a large group of allied people who appeared. These people basically had 4 words written on their faces, came with evil intent. Suddenly, silhouettes emerged from all directions in the mountains endlessly, and there were nearly 100 people in total. Lu Muyin swept the cultivation bases of the people who had come. Most of them were in middle phase Sword Monarch stage, while the leaders were at peak phase Sword Monarch stage, and one of them was an old acquaintance, Jiyu. Jiyu, a disowned dog like you sure, made a huge commotion this time. What are you trying to do this time? Seenin opened his folding fan gaudily with a smile and took a step forward, casually scanning the group of leaders. Jiyu disliked Nen the most. A vicious tongue and cruel heart that specifically attacked other people's sore spots. Nan, if you don't want to cause trouble, then take your people and leave first. Jiyu was still very afraid of this gaudy man. He found out that Nen usually didn't like to bother with other people's business, so he wanted to kick these people away first. Then he would deal with Nen after getting rid of Lu Muyin and the others. Nen naturally knew Ji's intentions. Not to mention that he was very interested in Lu Muyin right now. Even if he wasn't interested, just based on the fact that she could cure the poison, he wouldn't ignore this. Jiyu, are you blind? Seeing Ji's expression darken, Nen felt very pleased. Obviously, it's you who brought people to seek trouble from us. But you want to make a false countercharge? Jiyu knew that Nan's tongue was poisonous and powerful. He didn't argue with him, and instead said to Lu Muyin's group with a grim look, "Hand over your jade tablets, otherwise there will only be a dead end." The several people beside him looked at Lu Muyin with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. Another important reason for coming to snatch the jade tablets this time was because they also wanted to snatch the treasures this woman owned. They heard that she had a lot of grade 3 pills, and that golden saint tool was especially rumored to be exceptionally miraculous, not only able to divide into numerous flying swords and become a sword array, but it could even devour other magic tools. Although they weren't completely convinced, but they couldn't stop the greed and desire in their hearts. If that saint tool really was so miraculous, it would be a waste for Lu Muyin, a sword master from a small kingdom, don't it? Buffed. Jiyu, your head must have been caught between a door. Luo Li folded his arms with a bit of contempt in his eyes. Although you have more than twice as many of us, but do you think that these rabble can make us surrender our identity, jade tablets? G's eyes revealed some killing intent. This Luo Li was too annoying. Since you refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit one, then don't blame us if you die. Since he dared to incite the other teams of large and medium-sized kingdoms to intercept and kill Luo Li and the others, then he naturally came prepared. Lu Muyin furrowed her brows when she saw Jiyu and the other leaders looking as if they were bound to win. These people must have made some preparations. As she thought, the leaders like Jiyu suddenly took a few steps back, and an array banner appeared in the hands of a black-clothed woman with a veil beside him. Sacrifice! The woman's voice was hoarse and dull, sounding as if she had already passed her twilight years. The array banner in her hand then turned into a black arc and flew into the sky. The black banner gradually unfolded, and a sinister wind came from within it. Then she stamped a few Taoist seals onto the long, black, narrow array banner. Instantly, the long, narrow array banner flashed with black light, and a sinister wind surrounded the entire forest together with mournful, shrill weeping. The smell of blood began to spread in all directions, and layers of scarlet mist also burst from within the array banner, mixed with the bloody scent, causing many people to turn pale. What sort of iniquitous skill is this? Helienlai asked with caution. Lu Muyin's eyes revealed a bit of solemnity. The place we stand on has already been arranged with an array by them. What array? That array banner looks so evil. Nen took a step back, feeling that the sinister aura and bloody scent from that array banner was too strong, making him feel uncomfortable. Not only did he feel this way, everyone present except Yes, people felt a sense of disgust, and the irritability in their hearts was drawn out a little bit. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World Site. Thanks, Pu-Chi. Pu-Chi. There was an inexplicable sound that kept resounding. Suddenly, one by one, gray-white bones emerged from underground, revealing their bodies little by little, then eventually turned into skeletons, jadedly walking towards Lu Muyin and the others with a sinister aura. It's really a bone array, Lu Muyin said coldly. Bone array? Do you know this array? Helienlai felt that the aura of the corpse skeletons that were constantly emerging from the ground weren't weak at all. Bone array, also known as the Fire Devil array, is a kind of evil, sinister, and vicious array among the array skills. Lu Muyin paused, then continued. The array master who arranged the array must first throw most of the people into a medicinal liquid to soak, then heat the liquid, boil them alive, then attach souls with a sinister aura and resentment onto the bones of the deceased, finally collecting it into an array banner to form an array, using corpse aura to raise it. The souls of those who were killed, and the resentful souls the array master collected, would then turn into nourishment for the array banner. When the bone array activates, then the raised bones would emerge to form an attack source for the array. Those who know Buddhist methods recite the scriptures that help release souls from suffering. The rest protect the spiritual platform too in your sea of consciousness. The bloody fog in the array has the effect of creating illusions. After Lu Mu Yin finished speaking, she turned to Ling Fei Yang and said, "Elder cousin brother, do you know the scriptures for dispelling dark beings?" "Yes." Ling Fei Yang nodded. "Younger cousin sister, don't worry. It'll help protect everyone's spiritual platform. Sinan, Helian Lai, Luo Li, Luo Yi. The four of you go to the four directions of Zhen, Kanjin, Dui, 3 to guard. Don't allow a single skeleton in here." Lu Mu Yin turned her head again and said to the others, "You all close up your spiritual sense and mental energy and divide into 4 groups to help kill the skeletons. Remember to cut off their legs and feet." She didn't expect Gu to invite someone with such high attainments in arrays to arrange a devil array. But luckily the other party's cultivation base was only at initial phase Sword Monarch, and the array banner had yet to be upgraded, otherwise it would be troublesome to break the array today. She stretched out her hands and kept changing her hand gestures. One after another, jade-colored runes leapt out of her palm to form a rune belt that wound around her. "Lu Muyen, what are you doing?" Luo Li pressed his lips together and asked, revealing worry in his eyes. This kind of array gave them a very strange feeling, and it was probably not easy to deal with. Lu Mu Yin patted his shoulder and said with a light smile, "It'll break the array. Don't worry, little wildcat." Luo Li nodded and didn't care about her calling him little wildcat. In fact, he liked this nickname deep down. You have to be careful. Seeing her confidence and brilliance, Luo Li lowered his head and smiled. Then he turned and walked towards the Jin position, wielding his sword, and began to kill the skeletons that kept emerging. Ling Fei Yang sat cross-legged, removed the string of beads that Lu Mu Yin gifted from his wrist, and kept turning it as paragraphs of complicated and obscure scriptures came out of his mouth. Circles of extremely pale golden light spread from his body, and the bloody red mist retreated as if it had encountered its nemesis. The mournful weeping in the forest grew louder and louder, forming a depressing and eerie atmosphere. Even the elders of the 6 major sects sitting in the central castle had serious expressions on their faces. One meaning to choose to take the harder route instead of the easy route, basically, can be said in this situation as a means of threat or, for example, said to someone that was beaten up after choosing the harder route. Like, I gave you a chance, but you chose this route instead. Okay. My last explanation said this spiritual platform might literally be a platform blocking one's cultivation base from advancing. But clearly, that isn't it. And I just did a little more research into what was and found that it's just another dated term for the word soul, spirit, etc. So, yeah, they'll correct my explanation in a previous chapter. Eventually, XD, forgive me, as it's my first time translating anything to such an extent, so I might be unfamiliar with certain terms. XD. 3. There are 4 different locations of the 8 trigrams, each representing something different. You can search up 8 trigrams and see an easy visual representation. Decided to start putting pictures, so it's down below. XD, but I have seen variations of the 8 trigrams, aka Bagua. And this is the one I found that was easiest to understand for people. Usually it's black and white, though. I don't know how accurate the meanings behind it are, though. Chapter 243. Break the array. The desolate cries sounded from far to near, and illusions began to appear in the minds of many sword masters with unstable hearts. Ling Fei Yang's expression was slightly dark. His hand tightly slid across the Buddhist beads, and he kept reciting difficult scriptures. Circles of pale golden incantations were derived from the scriptures and gradually surrounded the people in the array. Only then did the sound of weeping slowly die out. The few people with weak willpower in the array had scarlet eyes and slashed with their swords randomly. Only when the voice that lingered in their ears disappeared did the illusion of a sea of corpses and bloody mountains in front of them gradually disappear together. The scarlet in their eyes faded, and their minds regained clarity with lingering fear. Everyone who was affected by the evil sound, quickly come sit next to me, Ling Fei Yang said softly. Some of them who felt that their heads were aching until it felt like it was splitting and were unable to resist the devilish sounds that invaded their sea of consciousness quickly sat beside him. Only when they listened to the reassuring, calming scriptures from him did they feel the inexplicable madness and irritability with a desire to kill slowly disappear. Lu Muyan's lips rose into an arc. Her elder cousin brother Shur was very talented in cultivating Buddhism. This way, she can break the array with a peace of mind. In the central castle, what kind of array is that? It looks so evil. The elder of the sword sect furrowed his brows. The sword skills they cultivated focused on righteousness. Such evil arrays were very dislikable to them. The strong and sturdy 8 Extremes sect elder didn't have the happy look on his face when seeing a good seedling either, and replied, "Bon array. It's exactly as what the little Lu girl said. Which kingdom is the woman who arranged this array from?" The wise, white-robed elder of Heavenly Secret Palace asked the person behind him. Replying to elder, "According to our information, the masked, black-clothed woman is a sword master from Heiwu Kingdom, and she is also the descendant of Heiwu Kingdom's national teacher." The man replied respectfully. The elegant man of the medicine sect tapped the table in front lightly with his fingers, his eyes unclear. Black magic is prevalent in Heiwu Kingdom, and they're famous for their goo poison. This woman, as the descendant of the national teacher, it is understandable that she uses this sort of evil array. However, their medicine sect would not want such pupils, and they did not like the art of the evil goo poison. The eyes of the elder of the vast mountain sect, on the other hand, revealed a hint of interest. In addition to body refining skills, their sect also had a small branch of sword masters who cultivated skills in ghost cultivation and devil cultivation. Crazy old man. That woman is not inferior to little Lu girl in her attainments in arrays. How about you sweet-talk her back and use her to hand in your task of finding pupils? The elder of the Spirit Tamer sect looked at the strong and sturdy man of the 8 Extremes sect and said with a smile. The elder of the 8 Extremes sect snorted coldly. Although our sect is a large sect that studies arrays, but we never slaughter innocent people to refine into array banners. We sure are not worthy of such a pupil. Even if the talent of this woman was much higher than Lu Muyan's, he wouldn't want her either. With one look, he could tell she harbored ill intentions. Refining so many resentful souls, her mind is indeed vicious. The elder of the sword sect said, "I wonder if little Lu girl can handle it. It would be a pity if she falls in this array." The elder of the medicine sect sighed. Even they found that this array was extremely evil. It would probably be difficult to break this array. The elder of the 8 Extremes sect revealed a rare look of worry. "Keep watching. I'm still optimistic about the little Lu girl." Behind them, the stunning, white-clothed man's slim phoenix eyes narrowed slightly. If one looked closely, one could see there was a layer of worry and viciousness in his eyes. He believed in the ability of his family's little woman. If anyone dared to threaten her life, then he would destroy their entire clan. In the array, the jade-colored runes grew longer and longer, wounding around Lu Muyan in circles. She reached out her hand and pinched her fingers to calculate, then took out a few pure white jade stones from within her interspatial ring that she had nourished and tapped them with 2 fingers. "Go. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site." Thanks, the pure white jade stones were tossed to 7 directions around her, and the jade runes also turned into 7 streams of light and drilled into the jade stone. The masked woman in black, who had been standing in the back watching the battle, furrowed her brows subconsciously, and her voice was still very hoarse. That young woman knows arrays? Not only does she know, but her attainments in arrays are also very strong, and is not outdone by Miss Na. Ji replied with a light smile. He knew that the more he praised Lu Muyin, the more uncomfortable Nuoya would feel. Sure enough, Nuoya's brows furrowed together deeper. How could she be worthy? In our eyes, Miss Nuoya is naturally 100 times stronger than her. Ji agreed. But inwardly, he didn't quite think so. Nuoya's devil skill array was powerful, but it would still be very difficult to trap Sinan and Luo Yi. The strength of those two people was unfathomable, and even he was unwilling to confront them head-on. Skeletons climbed up from the ground one after another, their mouths making crack sounds, and they were endless, making one's scalp feel numb. Luo Yi and the other three withstood against the army of skeletons in the four directions, but faced with the fact that even after slicing them apart, new skeletons would emerge from the ground, they gradually felt a little powerless. Until when would they have to continue to kill like this? They could only hope that Lu Muyin could break this array as soon as possible. Lu Muyin looked up and saw the black array banner in the sky, constantly flashing with a dim light. Waves of bloody resentment auras exuded from inside to nourish and maintain the attack of the skeletal army. She pondered, but the speed of the seals her hand formed didn't slow down. When the last Taoist seal was formed, she recited the great light mantra that released the undead souls from suffering. The difficult incantation poured out of her mouth, and the jade stones buried in the 7 directions flashed different rays of light and spread out little by little. A jade-colored rune belt also lingered on the periphery of the light rays. The 7 colors gradually converged to form a circle of colorful rays of light. Cooperating with Lu Muyin's mantra, it expanded from the center of the array little by little, and wherever it went, the bloody red mist in the array would be annihilated within the 7-colored light circle. The movements of her hands didn't stop either, and she kept the posture of gesturing and forming seals. Void spirit runes rose into the sky, scattering in all directions, and disappeared after sticking onto surrounding trees. Break, break, break. Then she said break 3 times, and the 7-colored glow suddenly grew larger and expanded much faster. When the 7-colored light circle expanded and approached the army of skeletons emerging from the ground, a series of shrill screams sounded ceaselessly, all from the skeletons. With the extension of the 7-colored light circle, the army of skeletons that were shrouded in it stopped moving instantly, and circles of 7-colored light wrapped around them. Wangamangawe Lu Chia Nama Hamude Lawan. The speed in which Lu Muyin chanted the Great Light Sutra increased several times, and the 7-colored light circle brightened a bit more. Then she put her palms together, took a deep breath, and took out a round golden stone the size of a thumb, while spraying a breath of essence onto it. Break! Another shout. Piuchi! Suddenly, countless 7-colored beams of light shot out from the surrounding trees, engulfing the army of skeletons. The mournful and desolate sounds gradually disappeared, and wisps of smoke emerged from the top of the skeletons' heads, running in the direction of the 7-colored rays of Sanskrit. Soul-releasing magic-breaking array. The strong and sturdy elderly man in the central castle slapped his thigh and let out a laugh. Good. This girl really could break the array. This method of breaking the array is absolutely amazing. This actually a real sutra people apparently say to ward off evil and ghosts, and are sending the ghosts on their way peacefully to the netherworld, etc., if people feel that some place isn't quiet or peaceful. There's no translation of this, not that I've seen. Lu Muyin's circle of 7-colored light annihilated all the army of skeletons that were summoned from the array little by little. Condense. The masked, black-clothed woman who was standing outside the array glared and shot a force of elemental energy into the array banner in the air. Lu Muyin didn't reveal any weakness either when she saw this. A black light burst out from her cuff and stopped in front of the other party's array banner. A black array flag appeared and slowly unfolded. Both were black, except the veiled, black-clothed woman's array banner reeked of blood and a sinister aura, while Lu Muyan's black array flag exuded a gentle and calming aura. An encounter between good and evil naturally required a fight. Kill. The veiled, black-clothed woman's calm and cold eyes revealed a look of fear for the first time. She continued condensing Taoist seals, shooting them into the array banner, and traces of black elemental energy flowed from within her to maintain the array banner and cast spells. So it turned out to be the dark attribute elemental energy. Lu Muyin murmured, narrowed her eyes, then quickly condensed Taoist seals. Jade-colored runes with strong elemental energy overflowed from her body and disappeared into the array flag. In addition to the elemental laws of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, there were also wind, ice, thunder, and dark, a total of 9 types. Among them, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth were the most common. The thunder attribute and dark attribute were not only rare, but also mysterious. People with such attributes had basically become a powerhouse of an area, and they were also objects that major forces vie for and try to win over. The elders of the 6 major sects in the central castle were surprised when they saw the masked, black-clothed woman use the dark elemental energy attribute, each with their own thoughts. The eyes of the elder of the vast mountain sect were even brighter. Lu Muyan's body was indeed strong, but she was more talented in other aspects. When the time came, it would probably be difficult for their vast mountain sect to win her over, but this black-clothed woman was different. The other 5 sects didn't like devil cultivation and devil skills, but the vast mountain sect had a branch that specialized in raising these capable people. If the black-clothed woman hadn't encountered Lu Muyin, a person with a strong talent for arrays and battle with skills, then she would probably be able to wipe out all the sword masters in the array. Such a sword master, even if they were a devil cultivator, their vast mountain sect wanted them. If they weren't morally right, then, after arriving at the sect, they could still change their views. If they raised her well, then her future achievements might not be inferior to Lu Muyan's. Of course, they wouldn't let go of Lu Muyin either, and would still offer conditions to lure her into the sect as well. Lu Muyan's array flag was wrapped with a belt of jade-colored runes, and its light overshadowed the array banner, shining in black light. This world had the dark elemental energy attribute, but not the light elemental energy attribute. However, this didn't mean there wasn't a way to deal with it. The profound practice of Buddhism was the nemesis of dark attribute skills. Lu Muyin was very irritable when she was stuck at the body fusion stage bottleneck back in the immortal cultivation world. An ascending cultivator from the same city suggested her to cultivate Buddhism to soothe her heart. So she went to one of the most powerful forces in the spiritual world, the Buddhist Ocean Precipice, for advice. Unexpectedly, the head educator of the Buddhist Ocean Precipice was a cultivator she once rescued. When seeing that she was the one asking for advice, aside from the core Buddhist methods that Buddhist Ocean Precipice couldn't leak, she was taught everything else. She wasn't a Buddhist cultivator, but she had a good understanding of Buddhist practice methods, which was more than enough to deal with the dark skills used by this masked, black-clothed woman. Of course, if she encountered a dark attribute swordmaster with a high level of cultivation, then even if she used Buddhist skills at this time, she would still not be able to suppress this evil dark skill. The black-clothed woman snorted coldly and channeled her whole Buddhist elemental energy into the array banner. The black array banner was wrapped by a powerful sinister aura, and there was a faint trend of suppressing the array flag. Then the array banner spread out and quickly wrapped around the array flag. The array flag was entangled by the black cloth of the array banner, and the jade-colored runes on the flag gradually dimmed. Only upon seeing this did the black-clothed woman reveal a faint smile in her eyes. As expected, Miss Nuaya is powerful. A sword master from a large kingdom who stood behind her complimented. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, the black-clothed woman curbed the expression in her eyes, and she no longer underestimated the purple-clothed, stunning woman opposite. She had a feeling that the woman opposite, named Lu Muyin, could never become her friend in this life, and would be her lifelong formidable adversary. An arrogant soldier is doomed to lose. She might not necessarily lose. The black-clothed woman pondered for a bit, then said those words in a hoarse voice. She was not a person who wouldn't admit to loss. The reason why she disliked Lu Muyin before was because she didn't know she actually had such high talent and means in a race. Now that they were evenly matched, she had a very strange feeling, but she was certain that it wasn't the killing intent of jealousy. The complimenting man smiled shyly, obviously not expecting Nuaya to say such a thing. Ji Yu used his peripheral vision to glance at Nuaya's face, which was covered by a veil and couldn't be seen clearly. This woman wasn't someone like Mu Tong, who was capable of slight scheming but was easy to be arrogant. If she were an enemy, she would be very difficult to deal with. He couldn't resist, but secretly rejoiced that he had invited her here. Even if she couldn't defeat Lu Muyin here today, the grudge between the two women was probably definitely going to be formed. Lu Muyin closed her eyes and didn't continue to condense and form Taoist seals to transfer elemental energy like the black-clothed woman, but instead slowly opened her mouth and recited an obscure scripture. Each time she recited a sentence, the already dim rune belt would light up a little, and after a while, the array flag made a crisp sound. Wong! The jade runes broke away from the array flag and quickly wrapped around the opponent's array banner. The jade-colored runes followed Lu Muyin's scriptures, disappearing into the array banner. In an instant, the array flag and array banner vibrated, as if fighting each other. After about an incense stick of time, the sinister aura that the array banner emanated was actually dissolved by the jade runes by more than half. The black light faded. Pu, the masked, black-clothed woman, couldn't resist spitting out a mouthful of blood. Ji Yu and the others revealed a little disbelief in their eyes. Lu Muyin actually broke Nuaya's array. How is that possible? Nuaya was a genius, soul-like figure in the younger generation of Heiwu Kingdom and was also the direct descendant of a national teacher. Yet she was defeated just like this by Lu Muyin, not to mention Ji Yu and the others. Even Luo Yi, Sinan, and Helian Lai on Lu Muyin's side revealed looks of surprise. If it were them today, they wouldn't even be able to break the opponent's array at all, and although they would be able to escape, but it would be at the cost of being gravely injured. It wasn't because of how strong Nuaya's cultivation base was, but it was that the array and dark elemental energy she controlled was too sinister and too tricky. They simply couldn't guard against it. The several people had heard a little about the cultivation methods of Heiwu Kingdom. Who knew that the #1 genius young woman of Heiwu Kingdom would actually be defeated by Lu Muyin today? How terrifying. Nuaya was an extremely decisive person. She took a deep look at Lu Muyin, remembered her voice, appearance, and smiling look, took out a wind-riding talisman from her interspatial ring and crushed it, and disappeared in this space. I'm not her opponent for the time being. You can all fight on your own. Before she left, she telepathically sent a message to Ji Yu and the others. Then a hoarse female voice sounded above Lu Muyin and the others' heads. Lu Muyin, correct? You are qualified to be my opponent. I look forward to a fight again in the future. When the voice disappeared, there was no more of that woman's aura. Lu Muyin's eyes were as deep as the sea. She looked up in the direction where the black-clothed woman disappeared in, and it took a while before she retrieved her gaze. As soon as the black-clothed woman left, the array banner in the air was also taken away by her. The array that was broken by Lu Muyin collapsed and disappeared in an instant. At the same time, the figures of Ji Yu and the others were also exposed in the woods. Chapter 245. G's trump card was about to be revealed. When the array was destroyed and the mysterious, black-clothed woman left, Lu Muyin looked at Ji and his party with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. Ji, did you bring these people to gift us identity jade tablets? Ji's face darkened. You think a bit too highly of yourself. Whether high or not, you'll know after fighting. Lu Muyin raised an eyebrow. Today, this scourge must be eliminated. Ji also had the same idea, wanted to kill Lu Muyin here. He turned his head and said to the leaders of the several other elite teams from large kingdoms, "They have a lot of purple jade tablets in their hands. Let's kill." The several people around him originally had some thoughts of leaving when they saw that Nua Yasare was broken, but now they couldn't resist feeling active after hearing Ji's words. Although they were afraid of Sinan and Luo Yi, but with so many people uniting, they weren't afraid anymore. All right, kill. After Ji and his party reached an agreement, they drew their swords and surrounded Lu Muyin and the others. Lu Muyin's lips raised into an arc and said to the people beside her, "Snatch all their jade tablets." All right. Her people had long been rubbing their hands and fists in anticipation, and they all rushed forward. So what if they had a large number of people? They could win even when being besieged by so many demonic beasts in a beast tide. This had more challenge, didn't it? Soon, the people on both sides fought against each other, with the people on Lu Muyin's side basically battling 1 against 2 or 1 against 3. Suddenly, Ji's figure loomed in front of her, and a strong palm wind rushed toward her. Lu Muyin's eyes turned cold, and she quickly dashed away, dodging Ji's sneak attack. Using her flash steps, "This is all that you're capable of." "Humph! It's enough if it could kill you." Ji snorted coldly, and a scarlet longsword appeared in his hand. The scimitars that he used the most effortlessly, and also his strongest weapon, had its connection broken with him last time, and he didn't take it with him when he left, so he had to use a spare longsword as his weapon. "Where have you put my scimitars?" He still wanted to get that saint tool back. Lu Muyin raised her lips and smiled, took out 2 dark golden scimitars, and tossed them to Ji with dislike. "Here you go. Don't say that this miss is greedy for your broken things." Ji's face revealed surprise as he carefully took the scimitars, but after channeling elemental energy into it, his face darkened. "There's no metal attribute aura in my saint tool at all. Did you do this?" He was just thinking about why Lu Muyin would return the scimitars to him so kindly. So it was because she took away all the metal attributes in the scimitar. Lu Muyin smiled lightly. "What metal attribute aura? You must have mythomania." She naturally couldn't tell him that her natal magic tool, because of his scimitars, activated its talent for devouring. There was also an image reflection array here. Maybe the elders of the 6 major sects were currently watching their every move, so she didn't want to expose too much. Don't bully people too far. Ji couldn't hide the ruthlessness and sinister look in his eyes. He rarely had such a strong, killing intent toward someone. He channeled elemental energy from his entire body into his scarlet longsword in his hand, narrowed his eyes, and swung the sword down at Lu Muyin. A huge light shadow condensed in midair, not far from Lu Muyin's head. The huge sword aura light shadow suddenly separated into 1,000 sword lights and shot out from all directions, trying to surround and kill Lu Muyin. Lu Muyin waved her hand, and a huge golden-colored sword light erupted from beneath her feet, and when it fell in front of her, the giant sword turned into 10 golden flying swords. The flying swords formed a circle and protected Lu Muyin in it. "Scatter!" As soon as her voice fell, the 10 flying swords spun rapidly. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, streaks of golden sword light tore swiftly and fiercely through the air from the flying swords, and also turned into 1,000 sword lights to greet Ji's sword aura. Boom, boom! The 1,000 sword lights met, and momentous noise sounded, causing the earth to tremble. The dazzling light made the sword masters present unable to resist closing their eyes. When they opened their eyes again, they saw that both Lu Muyin and Ji were affected and injured by each other's sword lights, each taking a step back. There was a streak of blood on Lu Muyin's lips, while Ji's clothes were ragged, and many areas of his body were cut by sword auras. I truly underestimated you. This was the first time that Ji Yu had been in such a sorry state when fighting against someone. Lu Muyin raised an eyebrow. Likewise, likewise. She really did underestimate Ji Yu before. Just now, he was the one that slashed with all his strength, but it carried with it the strength of a sword sovereign. She fought with all her strength using her natal magic tool, yet still suffered internal injuries. Most importantly, Ji Yu hadn't used his trump cards yet. She had to admire within that Ji Yu was indeed worthy to be an elite pupil of a superpower kingdom. Whether it was his combat power or adaptability, they were both top grade. Today, I must get rid of you. Ji's eyes burst with a resolute intent, determined to win. Lu Muyin chuckled, smiling like a flower. What you said is precisely what I'm thinking. Bing Ji shuddered when he saw the look in her eyes. The more stunning little owner smiled, the more it meant that she would flip out. He flapped his wings and swiftly parted from Lu Muyin's shoulders to avoid being implicated. Mo Yin also knew Lu Muyin's disposition very well. He stretched out his claws and grabbed the little white snake hanging from her wrist and also distanced themselves slightly. Meow Meow struggled unhappily and said in a tender and sweet voice, "Boss Missouri, why did you grab me? I want a company owner." Because Meow Meow devoured many Tier 6 demonic beast crystal cores, Meow Meow also successfully entered Tier 6 a few days ago. Even Mo Yin was shocked by such mutant talent. "It's time for you to train." Mo Yin glanced at Meow Meow, then tossed her into the battle circle. Initial phase, Sword Monarchs or Masters are your targets. If you can't kill 10 of them, then don't even think about eating crystal cores today. Meow Meow's cultivation base was advancing too fast, and if she didn't depend on battling to consolidate her strength, then it would definitely leave drawbacks in the future. "Owner, Boss Mo's bullying me." Meow Meow looked at Lu Muyin with teary eyes and dobbied. The corner of Lu Muyin's lips twitched. Although she felt heartache for Meow Meow, but she couldn't indulge her. "Your cultivation base isn't stable, so you should indeed rely on fighting to make up for it. Mo Yin is doing this for your own good." Hearing that Lu Muyin didn't indulge Meow Meow like before, there was a trace of satisfaction in Mo Yin's deep eyes. Meow Meow glared at Mo Yin and said pitifully, "Then if I kill more than 10 Sword Monarch human Sword Masters, will there be any reward?" "Killing one. It'll reward you with 2 Tier 6 demonic beast crystal cores and 1 Tier 3 pill." While battling Ji Yu, Lu Muyin also waved her hand dismissively and telepathically said. Meow Meow cheered when she heard such a reward, and with a flick of her snake's tail, her body suddenly changed from the thickness of a finger into a giant python more than 10 meters long, opened her large mouth, and bit toward the target she had locked onto. Lu Muyin's generosity left Bing Ji completely speechless. Owner was just pampering on this little female serpent too much. Then seeing Meow Meow's behavior, he couldn't resist holding his forehead. Why were the little beauties around him all so violent? Was it simply impossible to properly appreciate beauties now? Ji Yu and Lu Muyin blasted each other using sword auras, and Ji Yu was gradually forced into the disadvantage. He was shocked to discover that this woman's elemental energy was much purer than his own. The richness of the elemental energy in her body was probably not much less than his own, so it seemed impossible for him to kill Lu Muyin in a war of attrition. He clenched the long sword tightly, took a deep breath, and his eyes revealed determination. He took out a sealed talisman from his interspatial ring. Lu Muyin cautiously glanced at the talisman that carried a mysterious ancient aura in his hand. Ji's trump card was about to be revealed. Chapter 246. The Sealed Giant Jiao. Ji Yu gritted his teeth and endured the reluctance in his heart. He tossed the talisman in his hand upwards, muttered a few phrases, then a red light flew out from his sleeve and disappeared into the talisman. In an instant, the talisman made a humming sound, struggled in the air, then a beam of yellow light lit up and the entire space shook. "What's this?" a man behind Ji Yu asked. Jiyu didn't answer his companion as he stared deeply at the talisman that the yellow light was growing from in the sky. Lu Mu Yin felt an ancient and powerful aura coming from the talisman, even with a hint of pressure, as if something was about to break out of a cocoon. There was originally a dense layer of an intricate seal on the talisman, but now, after Ji's red light penetrated it, it gradually peeled off and the black runes became lighter and thinner, finally disappearing into the air as dust. Boom, boom. Several thunderous sounds rung in the sky, and the originally bright sky was covered with dark clouds. A pressuring, fearful feeling instantly spread throughout the space. The expressions of Si Nan and the others changed. What is this thing? The aura emanating from his talisman actually made them feel a sense of death, and their hearts couldn't resist sinking. Even the people on Ji's side had a bad premonition. Jiyu, what is this? Jiyu also had an indescribable palpitation in his heart. He furrowed his brows as he said, "This is a high-level talisman my maternal grandfather gave me. It said that killing sword masters beneath Sword Venerable is not a problem." The companions behind him endured the fear and revealed joy in their eyes. If Ji's talisman could kill Si Nan and the others, then they wouldn't have to fight to death or be seriously injured. Although the number of people on the other side wasn't as much as theirs, but after only fighting for a while, more than half of the people on their side had already been injured or killed. Roar! A startling roar resounded throughout the sky. Then a huge, yellow, gigantic thing broke the seal of the talisman and slipped out. Tier 9, Earth-type, Jiao Dragon Soul. Everyone be careful. Luo Yi immediately identified what was above his head, and he hurriedly led everyone back a distance. That Jiao Dragon had been sealed for countless years, and this time, having been freed from the talisman, it raised its head and happily roared a few times. The Jiao had 4 sharp claws beneath its body and 2 raised bumps on its head. It was possible that if he hadn't died back then and became a demonic spirit, then he would probably have already soared up and transformed into a dragon. Jiao Dragon, a snake-like being with no horns, but can evolve into a dragon eventually. Couldn't find a Jiao image with the same description XD. You were the one that let me out? The yellowish-brown giant Jiao squinted at Jiyu below, scanning him with no evident emotions. Jiyu didn't expect that a Tier 9 Jiao Dragon demonic soul was actually sealed in the talisman. No wonder his paternal grandfather told him to use it carefully. It was indeed true that it could kill sword masters under Sword Venerable. It was indeed done by this junior. Ji's attitude was quite sincere. After all, although the other party was a soul that was freed from the talisman by him, but with its strength, it was only normal for him to address him as senior. The Jiao Dragon shook its body, and a wicked look flashed across its eyes. Then it laughed loudly. Good. Very good. Ji's heart was overjoyed, but he didn't reveal it on his face. Just as he was thinking about how to use the giant Jiao Dragon to kill Lu Mu Yin and the others, an icy aura suddenly approached. As soon as he raised his head, he saw the huge head of the giant Jiao pressed downwards heavily. Just as he wanted to speak, the huge Jiao opposite suddenly opened its huge mouth and sucked him right in. It was only a few breaths of time from when the Jiao Dragon spoke to when Jiyu was sucked in and no one could understand what was going on. Wasn't it Jiyu who released this Jiao Dragon? Why was the first person to be eaten actually Jiyu? This was the truest portrayal of what everyone thought, including Lu Mu Yin. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, H. Why? You actually dared to kill your owner. Half of Ji's body was swallowed by the giant Jiao, and his weak voice came from the Jiao's body. He couldn't understand and died without understanding. The Jiao Dragon snorted coldly and swallowed Jiyu in one gulp. You carry that stinky old man's aura, so you must be his bloodline. When he killed me and sealed me that year, I swore in my heart to destroy him and his descendants. Today, I will first use you as commemoration. Ji's voice was so soft that it was no longer audible. He had probably already turned into the demonic soul's food. The faces of those together with Ji Yu changed drastically, and they fled in all directions without anyone's order. This Jiao dragon even killed its own owner, so it was even easier to kill them. Watching the constantly fleeing crowd, the Jiao dragon's eyes revealed slight contempt. This was how these humans were, timid and afraid of death, yet also insidious and cunning. He shook his entire Jiao body and sucked a few times in the direction of those that had escaped. The sword masters who were fleeing all landed in his mouth. Although the Jiao dragon was a demonic spirit, but it could devour human cultivators to replenish his true energy. After all, after being sealed for so long, his soul energy was also very weak. Mo Yin, what should we do? Lu Mu Yin looked at the Jiao dragon, not far away with fear. This was a genuine Tier 9 demonic soul. Even if he was currently weak, they still weren't his opponents. Mo Yan's deep and serene eyes not only didn't show any worry, but instead, a gleam of sharp light flashed past. This Jiao dragon's demonic soul is a great nourishment. If he could devour it and refine it, his cultivation base would definitely recover a lot. Lu Mu Yin couldn't resist twitching the corners of her lips. A Tier 9 demonic soul must definitely be nourishing. But as nourishing as it was, one could only look at it. Unless one could actually catch it and eat it? Do you have a solution? Lu Mu Yin saw that his black eyes were bright, so she pressed her glossy lips together and asked. And Mo Yin pondered for a moment, then said, "You lead him to a place where there's no one. I naturally have a way to deal with him." Lu Mu Yin still believed in Mo Yin very much. After seeing the Jiao dragon's demonic soul swallow Ji Yes group, it revealed an unsatisfied look as if wanting to continue, casting its gaze on them. Being stared at by a chilling gaze, Sinan and the others couldn't help but feel as if they weren't able to resist it. This was the gaze of a hunter staring at their prey, and everyone smiled bitterly inwardly. Who would have known that they were the ones hunting demonic beasts recently, only to become delicious food in the eyes of a demonic beast right now? The strength is barely enough for me to recover a layer of power. Unlucky. The Jiao dragon looked at Luo Yi and the others with disgust, as if he had already regarded them as food he was about to consume. Sinan and the others had deep creases on their foreheads. If you feel we're unlucky and disgusting, then don't eat us. Lu Mu Yin caught the heat in the Jiao dragon's eyes. Even if he disliked them, he would still not let them go. Let's go all out. Sinan also found the killing intent in the Jiao dragon's eyes. He endured his numb scalp and said to everyone, "Either he dies, or we die. Let's go all out." Luo Yi also thought so inwardly. All right. The others also didn't want to die just like this. So they all took out their weapons and channeled their elemental energy into them, swinging towards the yellow-brown giant Jiao dragon in midair. Colorful sword lights gathered together to form a giant axe, combining the power of all the sword masters present, slashing down towards the Jiao dragon's head heavily. The Jiao dragon's eyes revealed a bit of playfulness and said in the human language, "Overrating your abilities." Then he raised his tail and swept heavily, and the mighty axe was actually easily defeated. Pu, Luo Yi, Sinan, and the other high-level sword monarchs were all blown back and vomited blood. In just one move from the giant Jiao, it had given them a deep lesson, which also indicated that their lives might not be guaranteed. They were not reconciled, but there was nothing they could do. What could they do when they were inferior in strength to the huge Jiao? Just when everyone was in despair, Lu Mu Yin took out a profound ice jade box from her interspatial ring, opened it and closed it to the Jiao dragon, then said provocatively, "Follow if you want it." After speaking, she turned around and flew towards the distant dense forest without looking back and disappeared instantly. The Jiao dragon's eyes revealed a trace of madness and greed. He roared, ignored Sinan and the others completely, and chased in Lu Mu Yan's direction. Lu Mu Yan led the giant Jiao's demonic spirit towards the depths of the forest. The figures of one human, one Jiao, quickly disappeared in front of everyone. Yenner. The streak of blood on Lu Mu Bei's lips deepened, and he stood up in pain, chasing in that direction. Yi Qinghan's heart shook. He took out a pill to take and followed in Lu Mu Bei's footsteps. Mu Yan. He prayed that nothing bad would happen. Lu Mu Yan, that woman really has gone crazy. Luo Li was completely anxious. She, a weak woman, lured the evil dragon away to let us escape death, but she didn't even ask us if we wanted that. He disregarded his injuries, saying angrily, and also chased after them. When the others heard his words, they couldn't resist twitching the corners of their lips. Lu Mu Yin was a weak woman. Luo Li must have gone blind. Let's also follow. Luo Yes' injuries weren't as severe as the others, and Lu Mu Yan's actions just now shook him too deeply. Sinan's handsome face was slightly pale, and his eyes were filled with complexity and were difficult to comprehend. Lu Mu Yin, that woman, actually sacrificed herself to save them. Could it be that she was so confident that she wouldn't be swallowed up by the evil Jiao? It was a lie to say that he wasn't shaken. Helian Lai wiped the blood from his mouth with his hand and spit out a mouthful of blood. Even though he was in a slightly sorry state, but he still had a dashing and amorous feel and had an incomprehensible expression on his face. Lu Mu Yin, that woman, truly had gone crazy. But why did he feel warmth in his heart? Ling Fei Yang and the others were also shocked by Lu Mu Yan's actions. Just why was she so foolish? Everyone currently had the same perception in their hearts. Lu Mu Yin, in order to save them, took the risk to lure the evil Jiao away. This behavior was stupid and crazy, but it made them unable to resist remembering her in their hearts at this moment. Lu Mu Yin didn't know that her actions had currently entered the hearts of those proud children of heaven, and that from now on, she would even be regarded by them as a close friend in life and death. She was currently desperately fleeing. Mo Yin, are we almost there? Lu Mu Yan's speed was at full force this time, and she used both her spiritual energy and flash steps, but the Jiao dragon behind them chased after them closely. Damned, his speed is too fast. Almost. Rush in this direction. Mo Yin looked back at the Jiao dragon who was about to catch up and said indifferently. Bing Ji rolled his eyes at him surreptitiously. Boss Missouri was going to kill them at this rate. Was a Tier 9 demonic beast so easy to mess with? Lu Mu Yin bit her lip, and while running, she quickly formed seals. Her natal magic tool flew out of her body and stabbed towards the evil Jiao. Clang! As soon as the golden giant sword approached the Jiao dragon, it was knocked to the ground with a roar. Taking advantage of these few breaths of time, Lu Mu Yin accelerated to the limit of her body. When she saw a layer of white mist in the deep forest ahead of her, her eyes lit up and she headed in with a shoe. The natal magic tool that fell to the ground then turned into a stream of light and also flew into the white fog. The spirit of the Jiao dragon stopped in front of the white fog, gazing round and round at the white fog angrily. He just felt that there was something that he would be afraid of in the white fog, and it could even kill him. If he lost his demonic soul this time, then he'd really be finished. But when he thought of the soul-nourishing wood in the hands of that human woman, his heart couldn't calm. That was a divine rank spiritual item, the soul-nourishing wood, which was exactly what he needed the most right now. If he obtained the soul-nourishing wood and attached his soul to it for nourishment, it wouldn't take long for him to recover to his peak phase Tier 9 strength. Afterwards, he could then find a Jiao dragon with good talent to seize its body, and it would be perfect. Only those who took risks could obtain wealth. The Jiao's eyes revealed a ruthlessness and determination. He also entered the white fog. Center Castle. The elders of the 6 major sects took in all the previous scenes in their eyes, and they all revealed shock. Come and read on our website, Wuxia World site. Thanks, she entered a Class 2 danger zone. An elder sweated, only when seeing Lu Mu Yin, who was almost caught up by the evil Jiao, enter the Class 2 danger zone, did the hovering hearts of the elders relax. But after seeing that the Jiao dragon lingered for a bit, then also chased in, their hearts hovered again involuntarily. I hope that girl can escape this catastrophe. A kind-looking elder of the medicine sect said. The strong and sturdy elder of the 8 extreme sect sighed. This girl really is foolish. Although he said Lu Mu Yin was foolish, but the admiration in his eyes wasn't concealed. This girl had a very good character. If she remained alive, then he would definitely try to find a way to trick her into the sect. This girl is not afraid of danger, sacrifices herself to save others, has a good character, and has excelling talent. What a pity. The elder of the Spirit Tamers sect sighed and shook his head. Not to mention that this girl headed into a Class 2 danger zone rashly. But with also the Tier 9 demonic spirit rushing in, she would probably be in extreme danger. The other elders pitted as well, and even the wise elder of the Heavenly Secret Palace had a trace of pity in his eyes. After entering the Class 2 danger zone, the array in the competition space won't be able to peek into it. Let everything depend on one's fate. While the several people sighed and pitted, no one noticed that the white-clothed man with excelling bearing sitting behind them had quietly disappeared in the central castle. Lu Mu Bai and the others chased towards the aura of the one human and one Jiao, but they lost their way when they reached the white fog. What's this? Yun Ziamo knitted his brows tightly as he scrutinized the white fog in front of him. No matter what it is, let's go and then talk. Lu Mu Bai was anxious and walked into the white fog. Yun Lan and the others also didn't hesitate and followed him into the white fog. Luo Li and the others who arrived later knew that this was a Class 2 danger zone, but they also broke in without hesitation. But an astonishing thing happened. The group of people went around the white fog a few times and actually returned to the forest where they came from. Unwilling to accept it, Lu Mu Bai and the others went back in and circled around a few more times, but the result was still the same. Lord Luo, do you know why we can't enter? Lu Mu Bai turned to look at Luo Yi with a worried expression. Luo Yi was the strongest within their group of people, and also had the talent of divination, holding the richest knowledge. Luo Yi raised one hand and pinched his fingers to calculate. His knitted brows furrowed even deeper. After long while did he sigh and say, "This white fog is the entrance to a Class 2 danger zone. It can block mental energy and elemental energy, and also has the power to confuse people. Without an opportunity, one can't enter. Big brother, can you predict whether she's alive or not?" Luo Li's eyes was filled with worry. Luo Yi thought about it, then asked, "Do any of you have Lu Mu Yan's token on you?" "I have a bracelet of Buddhist beads gifted by my younger cousin's sister." Ling Feiyong quickly took the Buddhist beads off his wrist and handed them over. The sorrow and worry in his eyes could not be concealed. Luo Yi took the Buddhist beads and spat a breath of essence. Then his fingers pinched to calculate endlessly. After a while, he breathed a sigh of relief. She's still alive. Hearing Luo Yi's words, a glimmer of hope couldn't help but ignite within them. Lu Mu Yin, that crazy woman, definitely wouldn't die so easily. Lu Mu Yin, who broke into the Class 2 danger zone, didn't know that a group of people outside were worried about her safety. She was currently in a deep pond confronting the evil Jiao dragon demonic spirit who had caught up. "Human, hand over the soul-nourishing wood in your hands, and I will spare your life." As soon as the Jiao dragon found Lu Mu Yin, he couldn't resist threatening. He just constantly felt that there was an aura that made him tremble and fear hidden in ambush, and so he just wanted to obtain the soul-nourishing wood and leave here. Lu Mu Yin didn't run away anymore. She turned her head and raised a slight arc on her lips. "What if I want?" Chapter 248. Danger arrives, what if I want? The evil Jiao was furious when he heard Lu Mu Yan's words. He had been imprisoned in that talisman for so many years and had long developed a strong resentment toward humans, only wanted to swallow them all down into his belly. "Humph! After I swallow you into my belly, I will naturally get the soul-nourishing wood." Lu Mu Yin raised an eyebrow. "It seems that you're not that stupid." In her sea of consciousness, she kept urging Imo Yin, "Hurry up, he's going to go crazy." As soon as Imo Yin reached the deep pond, he jumped off Lu Mu Yan's shoulder, and his figure kept dashing about everywhere. Lu Mu Yin felt his demonic energy fluctuate, but she didn't know what he was going to do. Done. With a flash, Mo Yin appeared behind the evil Jiao. Lu Mu Yin narrowed her eyes slightly and continued to provoke. Swallow into your belly? You, a huge reptile, think you're worthy? You damned, despicable human. I must tear you to pieces today. The evil Jiao's murderous aura rose. He hated those who said he was a huge reptile the most. The human who sealed him used to arrogantly call him a big reptile. So with the old and new grudges, hatred ignited instantly. Little owner, you've completely angered him. We're finished. Bing Ji had transformed into his true form of an ice luan at this time. Although he was a little afraid of death, but he didn't leave Lu Mu Yan's side. Lu Mu Yan saw the evil Jiao open his mouth and spray a cloud of yellowish-brown smoke at her. She immediately shut her senses and held her breath. Using flash steps, she quickly escaped from the range of the yellow smoke. With a wave of her long sword, a hurricane-like sword aura headed over sharply. The evil Jiao snorted coldly, and with a few claws, he tore apart Lu Mu Yan's sword aura. At this moment, Mo Yin, who had been lurking behind the evil Jiao, suddenly grew countless times larger. The cluster of flame-like marks on his forehead appeared lifelike. Then it actually separated from his forehead. The clusters of flames separated from Mo Yan's body and instantly enveloped the evil Jiao. Then they heard the poochie sound of burning. It's actually the netherworld flame. The evil Jiao's demonic spirit was scorched and shrunk into a small yellowish-brown ball of light, and couldn't resist begging for mercy. Don't burn me, Please forgive me. They'll do anything. The evil Jiao didn't think that after just escaping from the talisman, he would encounter a demonic beast who possessed the netherworld flame. This was basically the heavens wanting to destroy him. There were no ripples in Mo Yan's eyes, and he was extremely cold. You've done many evil deeds and harmed many humans and demonic beasts in your previous lifetime, and you are enveloped in resentment. Leaving you alive is the true root of disaster. Lu Mu Yin nodded in agreement. We can't let him go. This evil Jiao's demonic spirit carried a suffocating, bloody, sinister aura, which meant that he had slaughtered a lot before his death. Now he was even more resentful of humans, so if they let him go, he would surely cause great misery and suffering to part of this land. Listening to the shrill screams of the evil Jiao, Lu Mu Yin looked at the cyan-colored flame with a dim light that enveloped him. The netherworld flame represented the messenger of hell, a flame that could burn all souls, and was a divine rank flame that dealt with evil forces. Lu Mu Yin and Bing Ji were both surprised that the natal spirit flame in Mo Yin was actually the netherworld flame. No wonder he was so confident in dealing with the evil Jiao. Seeing that the yellow ball of light grew smaller and smaller, Mo Yin opened his mouth and sucked, and the ball of light was swallowed by him, just like that. That evil Jiao was thinking about swallowing humans or demonic beasts all day, but probably didn't expect his demonic spirit to be swallowed by you. This is truly the cycle of the heavenly law and karma. Lu Mu Yin watched the cyan flame, together with the ball of light, being swallowed by Mo Yin, and smiled lightly. So it turned out that the strongest natal talent of a spirit devourer was the netherworld flame, devouring all souls. It truly was strong. No wonder Mo Yin dragged his ass being pompous all day long. Lu Mu Yin now knew that he really had the capital to be so pompous. But she must say that she was very wise when she bought Mo Yin that time. She truly picked up a treasure. After Mo Yin swallowed the evil Jiao, a boundless power burst out from his Yaofu, while his gaze were light. I'm going to go into seclusion for a bit. Be careful yourself. Because that soul energy was from a Tier 9 demonic beast, so its power was exceptionally strong. If he couldn't refine and absorb it in time, it would inevitably cause hidden dangers to his body. Come and read on our website, Wuxiao World site. Thanks, Lu Mu Yin was also aware of this. Go into the spirit pet ring for seclusion. Mo Yin nodded, then turned into a black light and entered the spirit pet ring in Lu Mu Yan's hand. Lu Mu Yan looked around at her surroundings and suddenly felt a chilling sense of crisis. As soon as Mo Yin entered the spirit pet ring, he fell into a state of deep sleep for cultivation. She instantly said to Bing Ji, "Let's get out of here quickly." Bing Ji also instinctively felt danger approaching, and after Lu Mu Yin leapt up on his back, he flapped his wings and flew high up. Yet who knew a sudden change occurred? A water column with boundless pressure erupted from the bottom of the deep pond and sprayed straight onto Bing Ji's body. Although he was flexible, but he couldn't avoid it due to the gap between the cultivation bases. Poochie. Then another water column leapt up from in front of Bing Ji and spurted out. He was barely able to avoid it, but his entire body was affected by the energy of the water column. Not long later, another jet of water sprayed out from behind. Crack! Lu Mu Yin heard the sound of breaking bones from Bing Ji's body, and her eyes grew cold. She turned around and concentrated her entire Buddhist spiritual energy on her natal magic tool and slashed at the water column behind. 2/3 of the bones in Bing Ji's body were broken, and he couldn't bear it and fell towards the deep pond. Before he fell unconscious, he used the last of his strength to toss Lu Mu Yin out of the range of the energy that enveloped the deep pond. He said weakly, "Owner, run quickly. You must live." Then he slammed into the deep pool heavily and was quickly dragged into the bottom of the pool by a force that spread from below. Lu Mu Yan's heart felt as if it was stabbed by something. This stinky, gaudy bird was so afraid of death, yet he actually disregarded his life and tossed her out of the shrouded range of that power. But how could she leave him behind? She and they were all companions in life and death. I'm going to save Bing Ji. If you don't want to go, leave first. Mo Yin fell into a state of deep sleep due to the energy of the evil Jiao. So naturally, it was impossible for him to leave. Her words were said to the human-eating blood thorn vine king and Meow Meow. She wouldn't force them to face danger together. Meow Meow will go wherever Owner goes. Owner lives, Meow Meow lives. Owner dies, Meow Meow dies. Meow Meow was wrapped around Lu Mu Yan's wrist, her voice tender and sweet, but extremely firm. The human-eating bloodthorn vine king also turned into a wood bracelet and attached himself to Lu Mu Yan's other wrist. Shui is willing to follow Owner and share life and death. The fact that Owner could disregard her life to go save Bing Ji showed that she truly regarded them spirit pets as true companions. A powerful feeling rose in his heart. Such an owner was worthy of him to follow for eternity, depending on each other in life and death. Lu Mu Yin stood on the top of a high mountain, and the warmth in her heart flowed little by little. All right, we're companions in life and in death. She believed that if Mo Yin was awake, he would definitely support her actions. She tapped her toes lightly, flew down from the top of the mountain, and plunged into the deep pond. But as soon as she fell into the pond, she was grabbed by an invisible force below and dragged into the bottom of the deep pond. When Lu Mu Yin was pulled into the deep pond, a peerlessly handsome, white-clothed man appeared at the edge of the pond. There was a devilish and icy arc raised on his lips. Whoever dared touch his woman, he would kill anyone. Without the slightest hesitation, the white-clothed man jumped into the pond and was also pulled to the bottom of the pond by that invisible force. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.